a proud supporter of Kern County's future NFL stars. Honda has the highest fuel economy average of any car maker in America.
Honey, are you going to do that yard work today?
I'm looking up all the places I need to go. Next Saturday, I'll go and get the stuff.
Locally owned and operated, Volvo Rents has everything you need for that weekend home improvement project. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will guide you through our vast assortment of tools, supplies, and rental equipment. From concrete or masonry mix, mixers or finishing tools, to lawn equipment and landscaping supplies and more. At Volvo Rents, we deliver more care in every rental.
I got you everything you need at Volvo Rents. Here's some gloves. Bye.
Barber Honda. Volvo Rents construction equipment. Present the Bright House Network's high school football game of the week.
Well, hi everybody, Vance Palm alongside Paul Press. Week 5, Bright House Network's high school football game of the week. Whoa, what a big game. Garces 4-0, one of the top-ranked teams in the Valley and the state against a team that's ranked higher, the Bakersfield High School Drillers. Before we go to Brian Adams and get the side of the Garces Rams, Paul, we couldn't even get in here. We're 7.5 minutes away to kickoff, and we barely could get our pregame underway because there's no place to park, there's no place to sit. Paul Press.
Vance, I got here an hour and a half ago, and I had to park blocks away. This is the biggest game this city has ever seen so far this year. It is huge. We're not going to see anything bigger than this until possibly week 10.
When we get back to you in a moment, I want to know about your thoughts on the BHS Drillers, but since he's covered up, he's got fans around him. Let's do it right now. The Garces Rams, 4-0, one of the vaunted offenses in this valley. Brian Adams, your thoughts on the visiting Garces Rams, Brian?
Well, when you say covered up, Vance, that's exactly what the Garces Rams want to come out and do. They want to play a good team game and wrap the Drillers up, contain Phillip Thomas, Saxon Moore, and walk away with their 6th victory. So I'm going to send it back to you with this special thought from the fans.
Yeah!
It's crazy, everybody. People are calling my phone. People are calling Paul's phone. It's a plethora of big names and big faces on the Garces side, the BHS side. It's a big, big game tonight, Paul. And I can't think of more pressure really on any other team than the BHS Drillers.
Well, everybody knows about Phillip Thomas, BHS Drillers, and everything. But I'm going to tell you, as a former coach and as a coach, the guy who knows football, I think some of the guys that are going to have to step up tonight, Sean Andrews, Adam Krause, Louis Miranda, Ziggy Daniel, David Ortiz, Colin Ellis, and of course, Mr. Cal, Justin Cheadle. It's going to come down to the BHS line. Can they keep pounding the ball? Because I tell you, the first time probably in history that I think Garces may have more speed than BHS.
Paul, you and I know that buzz, that feel when there's a big game, when you've got energy all around the place. Boy, can we feel it tonight.
Man, it's right on top of you. You're telling me it's everywhere. I've been walking around this stadium for an hour and a half, and it is a buzz. This is going to be a great game.
Week 5, Game 5, 5 minutes left before kickoff. We've got to run. Bright House Network's high school football game of the week. Look out, Garces Rams at BHS. A big night here at BHS. Back in a moment with a kickoff.
On Bright House Networks.
Tired of paying extra to call your friends across town? Introducing a new calling plan from Bright House Network's digital phone. It's called Unlimited California because it's the first local home phone service where, for one low price, you can call anytime, anywhere in California. So now, calling across the state is the same as calling across the street. Plus, great calling features are included. If you spend more than $30 a month on home phone service, check out Unlimited California. Phone service on your terms, not the phone company's.
Bright House, every day is easier thanks to high-speed internet that's so much faster than dial-up or standard DSL.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, who are they from?
Plus, there's a choice of speeds to meet your needs and your budget. Bright House Network's high-speed internet. see how bright life can be.
You're watching the high school football game of the week on Bright House Networks.
Good evening, everybody. Vance Palm alongside Paul Press. Brian Adams down on the field. Hey, Paul, you always have to love a game where the announcers can't get to their announcer's booth. That always makes for an exciting event. It took you and I quite a long time to get in here, get parked, get up here. We thought we were staged for a pregame, but then more and more fans kept rushing in here. I think it would be an understatement to say, Paul, that a lot of eyeballs on this game tonight.
Quite a few eyeballs. Many. And like you said, I think everybody wanted to see this game. And I think Bright House made the right decision by coming here and covering this game. I'm glad that we're here. I'm really glad that we're here. I wanted to see it. Everybody wants to see this matchup. We've got two of the top teams here in Kern County going at each other, and everybody wants to see this matchup. It's power versus speed as far as I'm concerned, but everybody always thinks BHS speed. I think Garces is the one with speed.
Well, if there's anybody that knows about BHS speed, he's at the 35-yard line, and he's about to watch his drillers, and I say he's alumni, he's a well-known driller. He's about to watch his fellas come out of the tunnel. Brian, you've done it many times, and now as the captains walk away from each other and get with their coaches, the drillers are about to come out of this tunnel. Rick Van Horn came out with a book a little while ago about the history and the past of this blue squad. These are the kind of games, Brian, that define this long-standing tradition of driller football.
Well, Vance, not only the games that define the driller football tradition, they're the games that can cement you in the history of the game. When you play against Garces and you make your mark, you make big plays. It was a huge rivalry. It's good to see it back. And what I like is you're seeing two teams that I think are very comparable for the first time in a long time. I think Garces really has a team that can play with them. They have a lot of guys out there. You're going to see them tonight. Kern County, you saw them last week. But I think these guys come out in the green and gold, as Paul said, have the speed to play. And I think we're going to see it tonight.
Well, Paul, last week we covered Garces at Highland. And, they exploded early and often, did a lot of good things. BHS had somewhat of I guess you would define it as a struggle against Centennial, basing that upon the facts of BHS and their stalwart reputation. So one might think that, hey, Garces is just as fired up as BHS, but as we hear the big blue crowd, here come the drillers.
Yeah, here comes the drillers, right. And they're pumped up. Now, remember, they played a very good team with Centennial last week. We watched Centennial beat East High. So there's a little bit of difference between Garces beating Highland and BHS, a little closer game with Centennial. Not to knock Highland, but there's a big difference between Highland and Centennial. Now, also, most people don't know, but Coach Gola brings such leadership and quality, and he's a stand-up guy. He stands by his word. All the BHS drillers know it. Couple of the starters, big starters for BHS, didn't quite get their grade check turned into Coach Gola and his staff on time. They did not get to start last week. Even his big stars, and I don't need to mention their names, but these young men learned a lesson. It's all about team with Coach Gola. Same with Coach Fanucchi. But BHS, it is all about team with their new leader, Coach Gola. And you know what? The big stars had to sit out first quarter, but once they finally got it rolling, it was a great game here. Now, question is, can Garces knock off another homecoming? They beat up on Highland last week during their homecoming, and this is BHS homecoming tonight.
We have numerous guests that will be joining us throughout the evening on the field with Brian Adams up here on top of the announcer's booth with myself and Paul Press. Gino LaCava, head basketball coach for the Garces Rams, will be joining us. A couple of BHS alumni will be joining us. We've got a lot of people that will join us because they're all here in person. Garces Rams will be receiving first. The drillers will kick the ball off, Paul.
Yeah, and here we go. We get to see the leg of Will Mahan, number 4. I talked about him before. This kid's got a big leg. He's going to need it because he does not want Garces to return. We saw their return last week.
Here it is. Big football game tonight, week 5. And it's going to be taken in the end zone, and it's caught by Michael Berry, and it'll be 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line for the Garces Rams. There have been a lot of phone calls going back and forth between Brian and myself and Paul and myself and Paul and Brian and your cronies and my cronies and Brian's cronies. And I played in a golf tournament, just came from a golf tournament at Bakersfield Country Club today, played with one of the younger Grimms, and his younger brother is playing tonight, and he said, hey, Vance, what game are you covering? I get to the putting green, all these young kids, 6th, 7th grade. Hey, Coach Palm, what game are you calling? I said, there's no doubt. We're calling Garces to BHS. And here it is, 1st and 10, first play of the game. Here comes the Drillers, hard count by McDermott, and we think the Drillers have jumped already. Paul, is this a good strategy? Take them off their, to put them back on their skates.
Well, everybody knows the BHS defense. They run that 3-5 defense, and they're always blitzing almost every play. Nobody in the Valley blitzes more than the BHS Drillers. They blitz probably 90% of the time. So just like last week, when you get a lot of blitzing, McDermott, man, he's a great kid. He knows counts. And here we go.
First play goes to the left side. It's taken out there by Jacob Valenzuela. Valenzuela gets up to about the 29-yard line. That'll make it 2nd and about 1. Paul, you brought it up. The big kid Cheadle, earlier in the week, signs with, thank goodness, a Pac-10 team out in the West Coast and a powerful Pac-10 team. And Cheadle says the Pac-10 is getting stronger and the Berkeley Bears could be a major force. Your thoughts on that in a moment. 2nd and 1. McDermott sends Tommy Barron in motion, penalty flag. While we wait for the call, your thoughts on the Pac-10 choice for Cheadle and a specific choice, Cal Bears.
Well, I think it was a great choice for this young man. I had an opportunity to meet him last year when he was a junior, and what impressed me was his maturity level, the way he spoke to me respectfully the whole time. He works hard, and his grades are great. And this is a message to all you young kids out there. You know what? If you want a role model, look at your parents. But if you want to look at a high school player here in town as a role model, Justin Cheadle would be my pick. Great kid, great athlete, great grades. He's going to Cal, and you know what? I think Cal has one of the best coaches in college football with Tedford. He's good choice.
Garces Rams get knocked back 5 yards, kind of even now, 2nd and 6. Way left is the lumberjack, Campbell, the tight end, split to the left. The handoff goes up the middle. Ooh. Xavier Tavorn almost breaks it loose. That'll be a 1st down for the Rams. So Coach Finucci's sending the lumberjack Campbell way out left as a tight end, Paul, as we see in our mobile replay. We won't see this, but he stretches out the big fellas.
Yeah, you know, everybody talks about Garces and their traditional wing T. Coach David Finucci's put a little wrinkle into it. You'll see Garces in a shotgun. You'll see him kind of spread that wing T out. Here in the traditional wing T, they give it up out there. Straight dive off tackle.
Tavorn again. You're right. Keep going, Paul. Great thought.
Yeah.
Great thought.
And, you know, when they spread it out, everybody was talking, you know, on the different websites and everything. You go on these different websites, as we see the Volvo Rents replay right here, they're stretching out this defense. And when you stretch a defense, man, things happen. Holes open up.
Well, we've got an official's timeout on the field. And, Paul, you make a very good point. On a game like this, you have 2 ranked teams, BHS way up in the rankings, kind of almost as always. Garces, 3rd year into Coach David Finucci's program now, and he's building it into a solid, steady program. You know, there's a lot of information on the websites out there. How accurate is it? Tavorn up the middle. Tavorn battles ahead for another 1st down. How accurate are all of the websites? How accurate is all the information you get? Teams versus opponents, who's what, who's there, who's this, who's that. Brian Adams, how much weight do you put in the new age of internet information on how these teams rank?
Well, Vance, one thing we do know is that these rankings are just like the BCS. They come up with some kind of calculation that's mathematical, and that's the problem with it. When you're dealing with those mathematics, things can happen on the field. As Paul well knows, Vance, you played. There's intangibles in the game that cannot be measured in the computer, so I don't take much stock in many of them at all.
McDermott out to the left side. Great play out there by the Drillers. Mark Durando, the initial driller that came in and makes that tackle, and that's what the Drillers needed at this time, because the Garces making some momentum here.
Yeah, right here on this replay, and McDermott thinks about pitching it out, but smart choice. Because Mark Durando was right there, and here comes Austin Ferguson, number 7. And people, you're going to hear Ferguson's name a lot. I really like the way Ferguson plays football.
Here's a big 2nd down for both teams at the 39-yard line. McDermott in the shotgun, 2nd and 13, goes for the hard count. Here come the Drillers. Screen play, McDermott lobs it out to Tavorn. Oh, could be a late hit, and it is. Oh. Well, we heard Austin Ferguson's name, but not the way he wants to hear it, and it looked like Taborn was down, play was finished, and doggone it, I just think the inertia and the excitement, Paul, caught up with Ferguson.
Well, I still like the way he plays football. I don't like the late hit, and no one will say it more than Ferguson. He knows this. He's a clean player.
Sure.
But right here, Durant gets him down, and you see, he already kind of leaning forward, but you can't do that. If they're on the ground, you can't lay your shoulder into them, not in high school, not in college, maybe in the NFL. Depends if you're Joey Porter, you can, because he's a big star. I mean,
that's what I want to hear.
Cover of SI. Let Joey do what you want.
That's what we want to hear. Hey, the Rams are in Driller territory in their first series. 9:01 left in this first quarter. Packed downtown. Forget about the stadium. It's packed downtown. Ball up the middle. Taborn up to about the 44-yard line. Coach David Finucci grinding it in between the hash marks, and for him, that's fine.
Yeah. Look at the clock. 8:44, and they're moving the ball, and they're taking it 2 yards, 3 yards, 5 yards at a time. And this is it because, look, ball's not in Philip Thomas's hands. That's how you defend Philip Thomas. Everybody wants to know, how do you stop Philip Thomas? Hey, control the ball on offense.
2nd and 8. Excellent point, Paul Press. Taborn behind McFumble. McDermott falls on it, and look at how quickly those drillers were there. Goodness gracious. Steven Gellamini was on that football. Had McDermott not scooped it up.
Yep, 3 times last week. Remember, we talked about this. I said they cannot put the ball on the ground next week versus BHS. BHS is not Highland. You put the ball on the ground on BHS, you're going to get in trouble.
Big 3rd and 10. McDermott from the shotgun. McDermott rolls to the right. Will he put it in the air? He decides to. It's up and it's out. Oh, what a nice pass. Nice ball right through the hands of Kevin Inman. And Kevin Inman lets that one slip through. So the Rams move the football about 35, 40 yards down the football field. And as McDermott rolls out, nice pass. He puts it, I think, on the money.
Yeah, he does, because look right there. Vince Van Horn, number 22, is in the pocket. That's pretty good defense. I mean, for a high school corner to stay in his pocket like that, but he throws a nice ball just a little high off his fingertips, or it would have been incompletion.
Taborn to punt deep for the Drillers. Philip Thomas, their quarterback. Taborn puts it up. Crazy bounce. Can they get it? Can they get it? It looks like they will. Look at this. The Garces Rams down it. Jason Brown puts the football down at the 1-yard line. And as the ball was in the air, Paul, I saw it spinning, and I could tell it was going to be crazy. And look at Jason Brown. He is on it. And Coach Brown, you ought to be very proud of that. Look at this.
Yeah, that's the second mistake of this game. The first one, it cost Garces their drive, that fumbled snap, because they lost it down there, so they ended up punting. Second one, Philip Thomas needs to field that ball in the air, and he'd probably be the first one to admit it when he watches film. You need to get over there and field that. You can't let that ball bounce, and now you're starting out on the half-yard line. Not good.
Well, Brian Adams, the Drillers are starting their first play from the line of scrimmage in this game at the 1-yard line. Let's see what your thoughts are here before he gets fumble. Oh boy, it's about to turn the microphone over to Brian. Your thoughts, Brian Adams?
Well, Vance, you would think this is where you want the Drillers to be at, pinned down on in the end zone, 99 yards to go. But we saw a kid a couple weeks ago, Willits, break loose and go almost 98 yards himself. Philip Thomas can be very dangerous when he rolls out and breaks it right here if he can get an open field.
Wow. Well, Brian, I'll take your word for it because I've seen him. We've all seen him play. 2 backs behind him. Thomas hands the ball off. Garces Rams on it, about a 3-yard gain, and he's thrown back. So I understand what you're saying, Brian. The danger of Philip Thomas, he can strike anywhere at any time. And that brings up a 3rd and 6 as we see the Drillers try to just get out of the hole, get out of trouble, get out of a situation where you don't want to be in, and that brings up 3rd and 6, Paul.
Yeah, 3rd and 6. It was 3rd and 7 last year in the Valley Championship game, and Philip Thomas breaks one out for 90 yards, 93 yards. So maybe we see a repeat right here.
3rd and 6. Thomas looks, has one receiver split left. Thomas is going to try to keep it himself. Thomas pitches it. Crazy pitch. Fumble. If it's Oh my goodness, the Lumberjack Campbell makes a big hit, causes the fumble, and it's Garces football.
Wow.
Jack Campbell comes through early.
We get kind of screened out right here, but on the Volvo Rinse replay, trust us, Jack Campbell right there, you can see the number 9. He's wrapped all around Philip Thomas, and Philip Thomas, that's 2 mistakes. Mr. Thomas, that's 2. You can't do that in big games like this, son. You should have fielded the punt, and no, they did not give it to Garces. BHS is punting.
So no possession for Garces. They will punt BHS, a bad punt. It will land on the 26-yard line. And now we'll just let it roll. And it'll be down at the 29-yard line. So the Lumberjack Campbell comes up with a big hit early, deep in BHS territory. It was not a fumble. Drillers kick. They punt. Not a good punt. And all of a sudden, head coach for Garces Rams, David Fanucchi, has the second possession in his hands at the 29-yard line. And, 2 crazy punts so far, Paul.
Yeah. One that went off, and I think Will Mayhem was feeling the pressure, standing right by the back of the end zone, and here we go. Whoa, big hit there.
Woo!
That wasn't even a wrap-up. That was a big hit. He comes up.
Tavorin got smacked.
Wow, and that's Marcus Nelson, number 6 for Bakersfield High. He just comes up and just lays the wood and bounces off and makes a tackle that way. No wrap-up there. There's nothing but shoulder pads on that hit.
2nd and 10 for the Rams. As I look and scour the stands, it's not who's here, it's who's not here watching this football game. 2nd and 12. Hard count by McDermott again. Another great job. While Jacob Valenzuela was in motion for the Rams. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, they come out in their traditional wing tee set, and then McDermott gives it the hard snap with his foot and kind of draws the defense, and that's why they went against Garces here. The penalty went against Garces because when McDermott went to send his man in motion, I think he picked up his foot a little too much.
Well, McDermott has been stellar lately. In 5 games, he's passed for 410 yards and rushed for 406 yards and had some TDs as well. The ball goes to Tommy Barron. Tommy Barron, our player of the game last week, the Barber Honda player of the game, had about 3 more feet and he was gone. So Tommy Barron, another option, another weapon, Paul.
Yeah, and I believe Tommy Barron's the fastest kid on the field tonight, and you don't rarely say that when they're playing BHS.
Right.
But Tommy Barron is a burner, and if he gets open, he gets in that open field, Vance. I don't think this is the 1 year. I don't think the Drillers have somebody that can chase him down.
3rd and 7. As big a play as you get in the first quarter of a football game. McDermott in the shotgun. Tavorin right next to him. Split way left is the Lumberjack. McDermott lobs it to the corner. It's going to be up for grabs, and not the best pass. It was intended out there for Jason Brown. It was battled out there with Vince Van Horn. Well, they had an opportunity to make this happen, but the ball's a little wobbly and just underthrown, frankly, Paul.
Yeah, just a little bit there. And Vince Van Horn playing again in the hip. That's good position. Just that, there was a great play on the ball by Jason Brown. Nice receiver.
Anthony Baker for a 42-yarder. How do you like this for first quarter drama? They go for the hard count, don't get it. The snap, the hold, Baker, it's up, it's no good. Wide left.
He had the distance. Had the distance, it looked like. What do you think?
Well, it had the distance for sure, but it was a hard knuckleball to the east side of the goalpost, so that will remain 0-0. And if you're the Drillers, it's not as if you're that shook up. You didn't get a very good offensive start, but your defense continues to be stalwart, and you've got weapons like McDermott, the Lumberjack Campbell, Barron. So let's see what happens. 1st and 10 Drillers, 3:51 in this first quarter. Time is flying by. Philip Thomas has Van Horn split way right. Thomas runs to the right, decides to keep it, cuts up the middle. Thomas gets up to about the 34-yard line. He's wrapped up there by the Rams, but that's a familiar piece of action from the Drillers.
Yeah, and I was holding my breath up here. Wow, he is so explosive. As we watch the Volvo Rinse, he fakes out and then just follows through. Just following his back through, and he pops through, and then when he gets to the next level, he may not be the fastest kid in the valley, but when he gets to the next level, man, it's hard to open field tackle this kid.
3.5 left in the first quarter. Philip Thomas running the QB spot. Vince Van Horn, far right. Thomas takes the snap. He's going to keep it himself again. So Coach Gola deciding that, you know what? When in doubt, let's go to the 1-8.
Yeah, and as I was talking about pregame as we watch the replay here, let's look at that line. You know, they're making big holes, and I said it's going to come down, and you're going to see BHS running what we call wedge blocking because Garces spreads their D out. So I'm seeing it already. You'll see what we call wedge blocking. It's almost like a wave blocking, Vance. It's where the linemen just kind of stay together and move like an ocean wave or a wedge there.
Van Horn way to the right. Tommy Baring covering him. Philip Thomas again tries to go to the right this time again. Tackled in there by Michael Berry. Michael Berry comes in from the weak side and catches up with him. 2:54 left in this first quarter. This is Week 5, Game 5, Bright House Network's high school football game of the week. This has been a game that everybody's been talking about. We found out we were calling this game Monday morning. The Bright House Network's executives got a hold of us and said, hey, there is no question we are going with Garces at BHS, 2nd and 7. Marcus Nelson in the backfield. Nelson blocks for Thomas. Thomas looks for more room. This time Thomas is hit hard out there by Chris Boyer. Boyer wraps him up at about the 47-yard line. That will make it a 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. Brian Adams, this must be kind of what Paul Gola always knows is in his back pocket. Just kind of keep it safe and let Phillip kind of find a hole.
Well, Vance, that's been the recipe for success, and I guess it's that old saying, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Right.
Because, I mean, that's what they do. They just let Phillip kind of roll out. You got to feel as a corner he's not going to throw. Safety, I would just be cute on it and go. If he makes a throw and beats you, he beats you. But you let him just run around back there and pick his spots, he'll kill you on the ground.
Here come the Rams on a 3rd and 3. Thomas cuts up, hit hard. Phillip Thomas is smacked. Vinny Sullivan lays a big hit at midfield. He's helped out by some Rams after the hit, but Vinny Sullivan, the 5'10", 220-pound senior, comes in, and Paul, we're going to see a big-time hit right here. Look at this. Pow.
Yeah. He delays it just right. We saw him at the very beginning of that Volvo Rinse replay. He steps up, and then he steps back and lets the lineman kind of clear out, and then comes in back door and really lays the wood there. That's a heads-up play from the position he was playing.
Here we go.
Man, he's playing that linebacker position, and here we go. Big 4th down, 4th and 2.
Well, 4th and 3. Who's going to bet the ranch that Phillip Thomas is going to pass this ball? I do. Hard count, doesn't get it, too much time. Should be a 4th and 8. Well, it's been a very, very good first quarter. A lot of strategy on both sides of the football field. Very well played game so far by both sides. BHS has been in the hole back in their own end zone. Garces tried for a 42-yard field goal, so we've kind of seen it all here in the first 11 minutes and 5 seconds. There's 55 seconds left in this first quarter. The Drillers are going to punt it, and William Mahan, who Paul spoke earlier about, will punt the ball up. Mahan, nice punt this time. It's going to be an end over end. It'll be fair caught, and it is caught out there. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Rams at the 19-yard line. So less than a minute left here in this first quarter, and this is the kind of game, Paul, where the clock time, real time, is probably about 20 minutes we've been playing, 25 minutes, but the clock time in this first quarter has flown by. Not a lot of penalties, not a lot of bad plays, and there's just so much energy.
Oh, I'm going to tell you, this ball is going to be on the ground quite a bit. And you know what? This is a field position game right now. We've seen one field goal attempt, but it's a field position. You know what? This is the furthest the Garces Rams have had to go, so we'll see what they can do.
1st and 10. Taborn with the handoff. He'll go up the middle right between the hash marks, and the clock will wind down in this first quarter. You're watching exclusive coverage of Bright House Network's high school football game of the week. It only happens on Bright House Network's Bakersfield. It's been a blast. It's our 5th week here in the 2006 season. I'm Vance Palm. I've got Paul Press next to me. Brian Adams crouched down on the field. Last play of the first quarter, right up the middle, and a nice run by Jacob Valenzuela. And that will do it for the first quarter. It's 0-0. It's been a very good first quarter. A lot of hard hits. It's been they got a first down. So, the referees stopped. Oh, wow. I'm sorry, everybody. Diego Medrano is coming off Gimpy, so the ref stopped the clock for a moment, but I certainly thought that would be the end of the first quarter, and I think Coach Fanucchi says the same thing, and they're going to let it go. 0-0 here, first quarter. Garces at BHS. There is not a seat in this house. There's not a place to stand. You're watching exclusive coverage of the high school football game of the week only on Bright House Networks, Bakersfield.
Honey, are you going to do that yard work today?
I'm looking up all the places I need to go. Next Saturday, I'll go and get the stuff.
Locally owned and operated, Volvo Rents has everything you need for that weekend home improvement project. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will guide you through our vast assortment of tools, supplies, and rental equipment. From concrete or masonry mixers or finishing tools, to lawn equipment and landscaping supplies and more. At Volvo Rents, we deliver more care in every rental.
I got you everything you need at Volvo Rents. Here's some gloves. Bye.
Honda is a proud supporter of Kern County's future NFL stars. Honda has the highest fuel economy average of any car maker in America. You're watching the high school football game of the week on Bright House Networks.
Welcome back, everybody. 1st and 10 for the Garces Rams. You're watching Bright House Network's high school football game of the week. Before we get too far into this football game, we must, and I say we must, go down to the storied athletic director for Garces High School, joining Brian Adams. It's Vince Fanucchi with Brian Adams. Brian.
Well, Vince, I'm not going to take a lot of your time because you got to be the busiest AD in the county. He keeps stats and he keeps the programs running. Tell us a little bit about the history between Garces and Bakersfield High.
Well, this game goes back to 1970. It was the first year it was played, and we played, I think this is the 31st game going on tonight. And it's been a great series, something the town looks forward to.
And it's good that we're back playing this series. I got one more question at this play.
McDermott across the middle, throws it, and it's, almost caught by both players, almost caught and intercepted. Brian, go ahead.
Being the AD, I know I've been around this town my whole life and playing football here. The Fanucchi family is famous for Garces. Let's talk about what things you're doing at your programs. That's not football, but basketball and your other programs as well.
Well, we've got a good year coming up. We think we've got a pretty good basketball team, it looks like, and then we put on our big soccer tournament every December. We got 148 schools in that, so that takes a lot of time. And we got a big basketball tournament going on in December, so December gets to be a busy time of the year.
All right, Vince, thank you for your time, and good luck the rest of the game, and enjoy the game.
Well, Brian, thank you. Brian, that's an interviewee that is on the move as you're asking him questions, isn't he? He's always going, Brian.
Well, Vance, he's sitting there taking stats. He stops, he looks over, he sees what the yard line is, he writes down who had what. That's, again, if you're not familiar, if this is your first time watching this show, the Fanucchis have been just a fabulous thing for the Garces program. They lost their father, respect go out to him, like we said last week. But they just do a great job of keeping that athletic program. And for their enrollment, they do a heck of a job just competing.
Well, Brian, I think we must have put bad karma on them as we're interviewing their athletic director. They get a penalty, 3rd and 11 for the Rams. McDermott rolls to the right. McDermott looks. McDermott's going to keep. McDermott cuts upfield. Tackle at the 33, penalty flag down. Looks like it might be in the area of holding. And a second flag comes in. Whoa, a late flag. Paul, the early flag looked like a holding flag. And then the late flag came when it came as McDermott went down, hit by Cheadle. Goodness, as we start the second quarter, we've been plagued with yellow flags, Paul. Holding on the offense. Dead ball foul, unsportsmanlike conduct, personal foul on BHS. Let's have our director, Bernie Johnson, show us what happened after the play. McDermott's down. Oh, Cheadle grabs the face mask. Well, I'm not quite sure why Justin Cheadle after a tackle, would go ahead and just reach over and grab the face mask of McDermott.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if you sign a big D1 program.
Well, it looks like, on all fair honesty, that's very uncharacteristic of Justin Cheadle. I honestly believe he was probably trying to pull one of his great basketball moves and strip the ball.
There you go.
Because from my understanding, the guy can play some basketball.
Do you think I don't know that?
And he's got real quick hands for a big guy. So in his defense, I don't think it was, hey, I'm going to try to reach over and slap you across your face mask. More than I was trying to reach over and strip the balls we're going down. Last comment about the Fanukis, if I may. What would Kern County be without the Fanukis?
I don't know, but we're going to find out just after this play. 3rd and 10, 11:06, 27-yard line after the ball is. McDermott in the shotgun. He's got Cheadle right above center. McDermott launches it up. Got a man open. Let's see what happens. It's caught! Oh, boy. Jacob Valenzuela, touchdown, Garces. Oh, Kern County, a very big touchdown. And it looks like we've got a penalty flag at the end of the play. Well. We'll find out what happens with the penalty flag, but touchdown, Garces. What a pass by McDermott, Paul.
Great pass by McDermott. And that's the 4th time they went after young Vince Van Horn, the junior, 2nd year on varsity. Vince Van Horn was up on varsity last year, but, this is the 4th ball they've thrown after at Vince. And he's deflected 3 of them, has done a pretty good job, but it was only a matter of time. They had a mismatch on the height, and they just kept going after it. And I really, as the official comes over and explaining something to Coach Fanucchi, I think the penalty will be assessed after the kickoff. And I think it was just after the touchdown, he tackled him deep into the end zone, which was, as they're going to say, a little unnecessary.
Touchdown, Garces. PAT, the snap, the hold, the kick, it's up and it's good. 7-0 Garces Rams on a big touchdown pass from McDermott to Valenzuela. And as we see on our Volvo Rinse replay, Paul, no matter how you slice it, no matter how you shake it up, this ball was on the money.
Oh, right here. He sets, steps, throws a nice high ball. And here's what happens. Right here, Vince Van Horn gets turned around and loses track of the ball. Right there, he gets spun around the wrong way. And there it is. Great catch, great focus. It's not that easy as you're running downfield to catch it. Brian As probably weigh in on more. I never got to play the wide receivers. A little too slow to get out there and run. But Vince Van Horn was there and then just gets turned the wrong way and spins around the wrong way, loses sight of the ball because of a great throw.
7-0 Garces Rams. And the pot is being stirred right now, isn't it? The pot is being stirred. Justin Cheadle with a unnecessary roughness, grabbing of the face mask. McDermott comes right back, throws a long TD pass, and that big blue crew is up and on their feet. They are excited. They want to see this Driller offense really, really get going. Philip Thomas waiting at the 19-yard line. We are in the second quarter. 7-0 Bright House Networks High School Football Game of the Week, Week 5, Game 5. And, ooh, boy, we have a good one. And we're about to get into our second quarter prognostications for games around the county. But this is the big game of the night. A little pooch kick. They're going to keep it away from Thomas, but they give up a lot of yardage in doing that. It's taken to the 27-yard line. And, oh, no. Pete Mitchell, backup quarterback and all-around player, can do it all. Brings it up to about the 46-yard line. So, Paul, they give up all this yardage and not kick it to Philip Thomas, but Mitchell grabs it, and he knows his way around a football field and gets it almost to midfield. Is that a strategy?
Peter Mitchell, the biggest small guy in Kern County football. I love this kid. 13. He's gutsy, not that big, 150 pounds. Well, that must be when he was wet because I've seen him without pads on. 150 pounds, I don't know. But, Pete, you play bigger than any 150-pounder I've seen in a long time.
Just underway in the second quarter of this big football game. A lot of noise, a lot of energy, a lot of hectic action on the field, off the field, around the crowd. There's just a lot of people here in this football game tonight. It's a pretty exciting event. 1st and 10, Driller football. Philip Thomas in the junior shotgun. Thomas will pitch it out to Emmanuel Turner. Turner cuts upfield, taken down at about the 49-yard line. Brought down by Tavorn and Joe Janino. Brian Adams, second quarter predictions for other games taking place tonight in Bakersfield. The Foothill Trojans are 2-3. They've been getting better and better each week. They're taking on the East High Blades, who've had 2 monumental games, stretched late and lost. Foothill 2-3, at East 2-2. Right after this play, let's hear your guess at this football game. Foothill at East. 2nd and 4 for the Drillers. Thomas. Thomas will take it, run to the right. Thomas in the middle. Not going to happen, and the Lumberjack loses his helmet as he enforces the play out there. I think it's going to be a loss. Brian, Foothill at East.
East High.
Brad picks 42-27 for the Bakersfield Californian. Brian has it East High. Paul Press, one of the bigger stories of the week that broke early in the week. Stockdale 0-4, somewhat of a mass exodus. Some of their players, very unfortunate. Hosting the Liberty Patriots at 3-1, and the uber stud Byron Campbell flinging for 300 yards last week. Your thoughts, Liberty at Stockdale. Important game. Thomas rolls to his left, throws from his left, should have a good side at it. Hit initially by Campbell. Thomas brought down at about the 37-yard line. First down, Drillers. Paul, Liberty at Stockdale.
Well, as we're watching this replay, Liberty at Stockdale, Liberty. Stockdale's just having a rough year this year. They're down, and that's sometimes what happens with high school sports. You go on, you have up years and down years, and this might be Stockdale's down year, obviously, and Liberty's playing well. So Liberty will win tonight. I just hope Stockdale kids step up and play hard. As we look, mini shotgun again. Philip Thomas pitches it out. Sweet. Wow, look at the speed here. Gets around the corner. It's number 2 once again, Emmanuel Turner. Emmanuel Turner showing his speed, getting out there. They're doing a little, what we call a mini shotgun. And that time, Philip Thomas has simply touched the ball, chucked it out. Emmanuel Turner's just showing his speed as we watch the Volvo Rinse replay here. Right there, he hits the Jets and gets out there. And it's kind of hard to see. Yes, he did get a first down. They moved the chains. I'm not sure, not to harp on things, but if I was Coach Gola, I wouldn't really be happy with my down markers. I don't know where they got these things, but they're real little down markers on this side. He's got to look across the field and try to find them. But as we see, first down, and here comes the BHS offense. They're really starting to pound on these guys now.
Thomas didn't get the most crisp of snaps, and it looks like movement on the Drillers. Movement on the Drillers. Second quarter prognostications. West High School, Paul Press, West High School 2-2. At Paso Robles 3-1.
I still think West High will get this one. Paso Robles is a good team. They're playing well. But I think West may have too much team speed. Everybody's want to talk about West High being a one-man show. It's not a one-man show. They've got one very, very good athlete over there, such as BHS. This is not a one-man show. Everybody wants to talk about Philip Thomas. There's more than Philip Thomas on the Drillers.
1st and 15, split way left is Emmanuel Jeriaki. In the backfield is Turner with Thomas. Thomas rolls left, throws out to Matt Barbell. Barbell wrapped up and thrown down at the 19-yard line by Tommy Barron. But if you're a Driller fan, if you're a Driller family member, you've got to like this. The Drillers heading down the south side of the football field, Paul.
Yeah, as we see right here, they're letting Philip Thomas get out a little bit more this year and create and throw the ball. If you remember last year, Philip Thomas didn't start out as the starting quarterback. Due to an injury, he ended up being put there, and then they saw what a great athlete he was, which they already knew, but what he could create on a football field, and now he comes back as a quarterback. Well, this year, he's had a chance, Vance, in the offseason, in spring football and summer ball and everything, passing league. The Drillers do throw the ball a little bit more than what some people think.
Marcus Nelson, right behind Philip Thomas, the only back behind him. Thomas is going to run to the right. Thomas cuts up the middle. Thomas, the dangerous, elusive, super MVP of this team, gets a touchdown, Bakersfield High School. Wow, Philip Thomas cuts up the middle of the football field and nobody from the Rams can stop him. Touchdown, BHS. Well, Brian, you're right there, eye level, and you've seen him do it a lot of times. Can you add anything new to the annals of Philip Thomas?
Vance, he speaks for himself. His play does it. I mean, this guy's amazing. We see him, elude players, miss the field goal there.
Oh!
But I was amazed right there. I don't know about you guys, with his strength of dragging the Garces defenders for about 3 or 4 yards to the end zone.
Well, Paul Press, Brian makes a great point. I want you to maybe expand on this a little bit. Yeah, he's fast. Yeah, he can toss it. Yeah, he can juke and jive, but he's strong, Paul Press.
Yeah, he is, and we've seen this more than once. Right here as we're watching this over, right there, that's all the line. The line's doing their job, but right here, this is Philip Thomas.
Wow.
Those last 4 yards was Philip Thomas. Before then, Sean Andrew, Adam Krause, Louis Miranda, Colin Ellis, and of course Justin Cheadle, and then their tight end they're using tonight is Ben Patron Harris. Those guys got in the first 6 yards, but the last 4 yards was all Philip Thomas.
Well, 7-6 Garces. BHS mixes the PAT. Here's the snap, and it's a little low. It's a one-hopper, and frankly, it was a bad snap, but it still was held up. Didn't go through, so you just never know about these one-pointers. The Drillers will kick off to the Rams. Tommy Barron is deep with Michael Berry. The Garces crowd is what you hear below me, ringing their cowbells. It's homecoming at Bakersfield High School. The kick is up, and it's going to be able to be run back. Michael Berry takes it at the 4-yard line. Berry looks for some room. Berry cuts up the field. Berry gets up to about the 31-yard line, and the Rams will take over. 1st and 10. So if you're just getting to your television, if you're just getting to the pizza parlor, if you're just making it into the living room, it's been a whale of a first half, and we still have 6.5 minutes left. It's lived up to its hype as far as sheer energy and sheer emotion. Paul Press is joining me, Vance Palm, up on the tower as we watch the Rams as they hand the ball off to Tommy Barron, and Tommy Barron gets it up to about the 32-yard line. Brian Adams is down on the field covering this game. The score is 7-6. The Rams scored a few moments ago on a long pass from McDermott to Valenzuela, and the Drillers answered right back with a strong, significant 7-yard run by their quarterback, Philip Thomas. And there's a look at the big fella, Justin Cheadle. He's committed to Cal Berkeley, and he's got his work cut out for him tonight against the Rams. McDermott runs left, throws across his body. Another, oh goodness, Tommy Barron would like to have that one back, Paul.
Yeah, he had it in his hands, and then gets 1 foot down, and then I think he turned his head a little too quick to go down. And as Brian Adams tells me, and Brian Adams, man, is there anybody better than Brian Adams on the sideline? This guy is in every spot. Brian, thank you. You guys couldn't hear him on TV, but Brian Adams says his hand position was wrong, as only Brian Adams would know. Probably one of the best hands come out of Bakersfield is UCLA, our former UCLA Bruin, Brian Adams on the sideline telling me, Press, his hands were wrong as we look. And you know what? Tommy Barron, if he had that one back, he'd probably catch it 9 out of 10 times.
3rd and 5. Tavorn behind McDermott. McDermott will probably go for the hard count. Does he get him? Will he do it? Barron to the right side. Doesn't fool anybody. He's in trouble. Looking for the face mask. Don't get it. Coaching staff and everybody on the green and gold side looking for that call. They don't get it. That'll be 4th and 5. The Rams will have to punt. So, Brian, this is what the Drillers are looking for, a strong defensive stance to kind of stamp their name on their home field, Brian.
Well, Vance, you're exactly right. I think the one thing that Gola feels confident in is his defense is one of the best in the area, probably one of the best in the valley. And he's just going to just lay his hat on that value of a great defense. And that's what they do. They hold you. because they didn't score a lot of points last week against Centennial. So you know offensively they're struggling, but he just feels he can grind you out, and defensively they're going to beat you. They're not going to give up a lot of points.
A high punt. It looks like he's going to punt it up to us. It lands at the 41-yard line. Carlos, look out. Don't break your hand, my man. We need you on the camera, Carlos. Wow, well, that ball took off, and as we watch it, you in your living rooms will see it passes by the moon. And look at Carlos. Oh, gosh. Carlos, stay out of the way. Paul Press, the Drillers get a nice defensive stance there.
Yeah, they've had a nice defensive stance, except for that one big play. In the first 4 or 5 plays at the beginning of the game where, Garces was kind of pounding it at him. But I'm going to stand with my word. I said it's going to come down to the big guys on BHS if they can keep pounding it all night. 5 minutes left in this first half. Thomas in the mini shotgun. Got Nelson behind him. Thomas on the keeper. Thomas hit by the Lumberjack. Lumberjack throws him down at about the 43-yard line. Philip Thomas right now starting to quote-unquote feel it. Yeah, he's starting to feel it. His legs are warmed up. He's ready to go. And all of a sudden, this line just keeps pounding and pounding. This is a big BHS line, not as big as last year. But these guys, they just keep leaning on you and leaning on you. And it's kind of like a big low-post player in basketball. Pretty soon, you kind of get tired, I would imagine, of some big guy putting his elbow and his body on you. 2nd and 6. Drillers at their own 44-yard line. Very right, Paul. Big battle up front right now between both squads. Thomas. Looks like he's going to keep it again. Thomas caught in trouble now, but we know he can get away from it. Thomas wrapped up in there and thrown down. Fumble! Whistle's already blown. Thomas thrown down, and that looked like a very peculiar attempt to either get outside and it didn't happen, or some weird, kind of a weird developing play there. Well, what they're trying to do is go off guard, but it's more of a wedge play. If we can get a replay on that, watch what I'm talking about, the wedge block. See how all the linemen kind of down here and then move. It looked like they almost had their blocking assignments confused. Well, they had the left side on down block, and then the other side should be stepping and pulling. But when you down block and you don't have anybody pulling, that exposes your running back, or your quarterback in this case.
Three backs behind Philip Thomas, but I bet he'll still run it. Thomas goes to the right, and it looks like he's going to keep it. Penalty flag down. Thomas hit hard by Jack Campbell. Jack Campbell just laid one on Philip Thomas, and there is a penalty flag on the play. While we wait for this play, I must ask Brian Adams. Brian, are you sensing that this is, developing into a battle in the trenches, or will this still be a skilled player's game?
Well, Vance, we talked a little bit off here going into the quarter. I think it's going to be about the trenches. However, I think it's going to be whatever team can come up with 2 or 3 big plays is going to win, because it's just a stalemate on the defensive side of the ball.
Hey, Brian, great point. Thank you. Just thought I'd check with you. Hey, Paul, here you see Philip Thomas thinks he's going to the right, but the Lumberjack Campbell just smacks him.
Right here.
Bam.
Stands him up, does his job, and then the Lumberjack here gets rolled up on his right ankle, got stepped on, and he came off the field a little limping, but he's a pretty tough kid, and he's a big kid, so I know it's going to take more than somebody stepping on his ankle to get him out of this game.
4th and 7. Drillers will punt. What an excellent football game. High punt. Valenzuela's going to watch it, look at it, and say, I want none of that. Not a bad punt at all for your man William Mahan. Gets about a 50-yarder, about a 45-yarder. So with 3 minutes and 2 seconds left, Paul, I keep thinking this is just a fantastic first half, and it's only 7-6, but it's really been well played, I think.
Well, it's a good high school football game. I mean, if you want to see a high-scoring game, 50 or to 65, go watch the Blitz during springtime. Watch the Blitz beat up on somebody 65 to 50. You want to watch good high school outdoor football where there's defense and 11 guys on the field and everything, then come watch BHS and Garces. This is a great game as Garces spreads it out a little bit, gets a wider stance as we see it in a shotgun. McDermott takes a shotgun, goes off right, comes up on the tackle, and BHS stands him up right there. Very, very short game, bring up 2nd and 9.
Well, McDermott thought about it, thought he might try to squeeze something out of that, but Steve McDermott, 5'8", 170, happens to run into a young man by the name of Justin Cheadle, 6'4", 270. Uh-oh.
Yeah, that'd be like me trying to dribble basketball in the post against you. I don't think that would be a very good thing for me to do. First of all, you've never seen me dribble. It's ugly.
Well, and if I'm going to think like Justin Cheadle, on a serious thought, if that quarterback's trying to come up the middle, no matter what size he is, I'm smacking him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Just as his home turf. Well, we've got whistles blowing, and it looks like it might be our first timeout of the game, and it's going to be taken by the Garces Rams. Head coach David Finucci calls a timeout. 2 minutes and 18 seconds left at halftime. We would like to thank Volvo Rents for being a major part of these Bright House Networks telecasts. They provide the booms for us. I don't know if we can see our booms, but the fellows are way up high on the booms. Hi, guys. Nice to see them. We'd also like to thank Barber Honda. The Barber Honda Player of the Game Award will be given out at the end of this game. You know, Bakersfield High School leads the series, 20 wins, 9 losses, 2 ties, and they're 3-3 when there is less than 8 points decided here. So the last Garces win was in 1991, so when it seems to be a tight ball game, when it's really tight, it's 3-3, but I guess if it's tight, then the score is close and the averages go down on who's going to win this thing. We'd also like to give some special hellos out there. It is incumbent upon me to say hello to Brandon Grimm, whose brother Brett Grimm, number 52 in the Garces Rams. Brandon Grimm is one of my golf partners today. And as McDermott looks, McDermott cuts upfield, and Philip Thomas stops McDermott from a sure touchdown. Jack Campbell out there trying to help his quarterback get enough 2 or 3 yards, but Philip Thomas, the QB for the Drillers on offense, comes up with a big hit, Paul, and from what I saw and from what you saw, McDermott had a lot of room if Philip Thomas doesn't hit it. Watch this, Kern County.
Yeah, the best thing about this right here is McDermott is so smart. I like this, makes a good move, and then right there, Philip Thomas takes the right angle, because if he doesn't take the right angle, McDermott, that's a bigger gain. Here we go, back to action.
1st and 10, Valenzuela. Valenzuela up to about the 37-yard line. So Jacob Valenzuela to the 37-yard line. Another special hello out there to Vernon Blackburn, Gig Garden Hire.
What great play calling right now. Garces making some great calls. Coach Finucci, I like the calls he's making right now. If we notice the first half, in the first quarter, they were doing a lot of inside tackles and traditional wing team stuff, and now they're starting to get out a little wider and see how this BHS defense can go sideline to sideline.
Jason Brown split out wide right with Tommy Barron. McDermott looks to keep it, and he runs into the future Cal Bear, and Justin Cheadle wraps it up and says, no dice. Justin Cheadle says, no dice.
You know, and Garces, Brian Adams, he's always right. He's in our ear going, watch the wheel route. And Brian Adams, you were correct. They were trying to get Barron out here on a wheel route, which is like what we talked about, kind of like an old chair. It's go down the field, 10 yards, run out to the sideline, and then up the field. But Vince Van Horn was there in position.
Big 3rd and 2. Barron on the call. Barron on the keeper. Barron goes up. Barron gets the first down, maybe more. He's hit it about the 46-yard line. He's wrapped up out there by Austin Ferguson and Matt Barvell. First down, Garces Rams, 42 seconds left, and David Finucci calls a timeout. Garces timeout. Paul and Tommy Barron.
Tommy Barron right here. He gets him out, and what happens here is this is actually more of what in traditional football would be a toss or a sweep. But in the wing tee, it's designed to get just outside the tackle and then cut back in that grain, and that's typically what they call a sweep on the wing tee. And Tommy Barron hits that crease and gets right through. And man, what a great job.
42 seconds left in the half. Garces is at the BHS 46-yard line. You are watching exclusive coverage. The only possible way in Kern County you can watch an entire high school football game in its entirety is by watching Bright House Networks, exclusive on Channel 21. Encore presentation on Saturday mornings at 10:30 a.m. Don't forget, we're going to be covering this fall Cal State University basketball, the Bakersfield Condors, the Bakersfield Jam. We'll also be continuing to play On a Tank Full. I was catching a little bit of a ribbing today on the golf course about the On a Tank Full episode where I'm deep sea fishing in Santa Barbara, Paul. Everybody's talking smack about me, but I'm catching fish, so.
Yeah.
42 seconds left in this first half. 1st and 10, Tommy Barron way out right with Luke Kauza. McDermott takes the snap. He's got Tavorn blocking for him. McDermott looks like a screen. Oh boy, thrown out to Tavorn, but Tavorn had nowhere to go. Actually, a loss on the play. The clock will keep ticking. It's at a half a minute now. Head coach David Finucci looking at things. Oh boy. Head coach Finucci will take it and say, you know what, we'll take a 7-6 lead. Let's go right down to Brian Adams. Brian, you've got head coach David Finucci walking off the field. Brian Adams, go.
Well, Vance, I got David right here. David Finucci, you're up 7-6. Defensive battle. What are you going to look about in the second half coming up?
Well, we just got to do what we've been doing here is play good defense and continue to try and run the football and control the clock.
Now, did you see something that you could get them on that wheel route on that touchdown?
No, but we just knew that we've got to try and loosen them up and try to throw the ball on top. We can't run it every down, and so they're too good. They'll put too many guys in the box. So we got to take a shot every once in a while.
Well, I know you call the play good play call, and good luck in the second half.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you. Hey, Paul Press, it's homecoming. It's BHS hosting Garces. Doesn't get any bigger than this. Your first half thoughts before we go to break.
I like the play calling of Garces, and I really like the defense of BHS. Defensive battle, I think it's going to come down, and I'm going to continue, BHS linemen, how well they're going to continue to push and push and push and try to get the Garces defense off the ball.
Bakersfield High School 6, Garces 7. What a first half, a big week, week 5, game 5. You're looking at a packed house at Bakersfield High School, only on Bright House Networks Bakersfield. Back in a moment, it's homecoming at BHS 2006.
Hey, Mom.
When you live in a Bright House, you can always be there when they need you most.
Oh, hey, Mom.
Thanks to Digital Phone. Our calling plans help you save on local and long distance.
Yes, love you too.
So talk all you want.
Hi.
Hey,
You need to get that?
a voicemail.
See how bright life can be.
Honey, are you going to do that yard work today?
I'm looking up all the places I need to go. Next Saturday, I'll go and get the stuff.
Locally owned and operated, Volvo Rents has everything you need for that weekend home improvement project. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will guide you through our vast assortment of tools, supplies, and rental equipment. From concrete or masonry mix, mixers or finishing tools, to lawn equipment and landscaping supplies and more. At Volvo Rents, we deliver more care in every rental.
I got you everything you need at Volvo Rents. Here's some gloves. Bye.
You're watching the high school football game of the week on Bright House Networks.
Welcome back, everybody. Vance Palm up here at the top of the announcer's booth on the visitors side, which is the Garces High School side. And it is homecoming at Bakersfield High School, but they're trailing by 1 point. The visiting Garces Rams up 7-6. I'm joined by Paul Press. Paul Press, here's our first touchdown of the game. Steve McDermott to Valenzuela. What a TD.
Yeah, we see McDermott. 1-2, he lets it fly, and the good thing here is he gets the ball out in front and right there, and Vince Van Horn's in good position, but he gets turned the wrong way. Vince, turn back to your left towards the receiver there, and after that it's just a foot race, and he's not going to be caught. And then there was a late tackle in the end zone, but, you know, that just added on. So, you know, they went 4 times at Van Horn, and on the fourth time was the charm there. So that gets Garces out to the big lead. They go up 7-0 at that point.
Well, our second TD is the BHS TD, and we've talked about Philip Thomas, his speed, his talent, this and that. Right here, it's just all, hey, try to stop me.
Yeah, this is just determination and will. Right here, that's just, he sniffs the end zone, and all great athletes, good football players, they say, oh, he could smell the end zone. And the reason why they say you could smell the end zone, and he's a perfect example on this one, because you see him leaning forward, he wasn't going down until he got there.
Paul Press, dare I say that it'll be a 1-point difference at the end of this ball game, and we talk about special teams, missed PATs. Oh, goodness. Can you imagine if this ends up being the story here?
Oh, wow. And it very well could be. I think it might end up being a 6-point game. I think each team's going to come out and probably score one touchdown or 2 touchdowns, one aside, and that'll make the difference there. But, man, if it did come down to a 1-point game, hey, obviously Bright House picking the right game to cover.
That's Paul Press. I'm going to give him some time off. And when we come back, everybody, Kern County, I'm going to have Gino LaCava, head coach of men's basketball team from Garces High School. When we come back, do not miss this interview. We'll be back in a moment. BHS trailing by 1. Garces up 7-6. Back in a moment with a big-time interview.
Phone and internet are all set.
Thank you. When you live in a Bright House, every day is easier.
I'll just follow the TV.
Good idea. Because there's only one number to call. And when you combine your digital cable, high-speed internet, and digital phone with the Digital Combo Plus, there's only one bill to pay. Save time, save money, and simplify your life with the Digital Combo Plus. See how bright life can be.
Honda is a proud supporter of Kern County's future NFL stars. Honda has the highest fuel economy average of any car maker in America.
Welcome back, everybody. Vance Palm up here. Hey, we're almost done with halftime. BHS homecoming. A lot of people out in the football field. They are trailing by 1 point. Crazy thing, I came up here tonight to start the football game, and over here in the corner of the fence is a basketball. I didn't bring it. I don't know why it's up here, but it could only mean that the stars are aligned, because I get to interview not only one of my very good friends, but also my boss during the winter time. I'm a part-time coach at Garces basketball, and we're joined by one of the more successful coaches in the Valley history, Gino LaCava. Hey, Coach, good to see you, buddy.
Oh, it's a pleasure being here.
Hey, Coach, a few years ago, we did a high school football game, and I interviewed you, and there were some guys named Robert Swift, Kyle Shiloh, Anthony Esparza, Zach Ryan. There was a couple of guys, and I remember talking to you about that, and that was kind of an obvious time to interview you because everyone was talking about that team. Well, Coach, I happen to know that this coming season also, possibly some exciting things, so I thought I'd haul you up here. Let's talk a little hoop here. Right before October.
Yeah, watch out, boy. We got a good-looking group of kids this year, very young. Probably going to start 3 sophomores and a couple of juniors, and going to give them heck this year. I'll tell you that we've got a lot of ability out there, a lot of speed, and these guys can flat-out play. So we're excited this year.
Coach, you're approaching your 300th win. You're not there yet, and I know you well enough to know that's not something you really think about. But as you continue to go and continue to pile on and pile on and pile on, hey, 300 wins at any level is pretty exciting. Let's kind of go back and talk about some of the years you've had here at Garces and what you've achieved.
I'll tell you what, we've had our fair share of success now. We have 7 Valley championships in 13 years, and there's a lot of dedication, a lot of hard work, and a lot of blood and sweat in that gym in there. But we've been very fortunate, and I've surrounded myself with some great guys, just like yourself, Vance, that really help out and share your knowledge and stuff with the kids. And we've just been very fortunate to have a lot of really good kids come through that gym.
A couple years ago, seems like a lifetime ago, but we had Josh Hawksworth, Tony Sanchez, Greg Mariani, James Evans, Scott Gitzberts, and not everybody knows these names, but they know the story of this team that goes up into the Selland Arena. Jerry Tarkanian was front and center. He was there, I think, to adorn the Valley Championships, presumably upon the 2 twin towers at Memorial High School, San Joaquin Memorial. Tell us about that Valley Championship victory there.
I'll tell you what, we didn't start a kid over 6 foot in that game, and just a bunch of hard-working, hustling guys that fell into the game plan and took it to that very, very successful and very skilled Panther team up there, who I think walked on that floor thinking they were going to walk away with the Valley Championship real easy. But and Garces' pride bled through, and we came away with one there.
Coach, we start working out Monday for hoop, but before we talk basketball, one last question. What a football game. Give us your thoughts.
This is great. You know, on any given night in high school sports, you'd have to say that the Drillers might be a little favored tonight, but that Garces football team, they've worked their tails off as well, and we've got a lot of skilled positions filled out there, so anything can happen out here. It looks good right now. We've got a point lead on them.
Head coach Gino LaCava will be approaching his 300th win this season. Coach, thank you for being here. See you Monday morning. Back in a moment with the kickoff of the second half. Woo! Go, Brian.
I got you down on the sideline, 7-6. Your defense, I know that's what you've been hanging your hat on. They've been keeping you in the game. What are you looking at to do on the offensive end to put some points on the scoreboard?
You know, we just got to stand in our blocks. You know, the linebacker's getting a free scrape. We're preparing for them to blitz. They haven't blitzed. They stayed in a 5-3. We just got to get faster rotation with our O-line. We come back. You know, we got to get more physical up front. We're going to spread them out a little bit, and then we're going to try to hammer it. You know, we've done a great job in the second half. We're held a explosive offense to 6 points. That's positive. Now we got to come out and play driller football in the second half.
Well, good luck in the second half, Coach.
Back in a moment with the kickoff. Drillers trail by 1 point. What a ball game. Back in a moment.
Phone and internet are all set.
Thank you. When you live in a Bright House, every day is easier.
I'll just follow the TV.
Good idea. Because there's only one number to call. And when you combine your digital cable, high-speed internet, and digital phone with the Digital Combo Plus, there's only one bill to pay. Save time, save money, and simplify your life with the Digital Combo Plus. See how bright life can be.
Honda is a proud supporter of Kern County's future NFL stars. Honda has the highest fuel economy average of any car maker in America.
I'd like to thank head coach Gino LaCava from Garces basketball for being with us to tell us about the upcoming season. It's going to be exciting. And Paul Press, I could see it on Gino LaCava's face. This is an intense coach who's about to win his 300th game here this season. Even he's a little bit taken up by the excitement here in this football game.
Yeah, you could tell the excitement's buzzing. I had a chance to get down on the field and go talk to some people and introduce Brian Adams to a gentleman we're going to be interviewing here pretty soon. But as I was down there, saw so many people. I think there's 4 reporters from the California, even Andy Kay, the columnist, because he's not a reporter. Andy always reminds me, Paul, I'm not a reporter, I'm a columnist. I can have my opinion.
Oh, boy.
So I said, okay. But Andy was down there. Alan Paradise from the district office, Kern High School district office, was here. Alan, former Foothill wrestling coach, and did a great job over there, and has kind of moved up through vice principals and everything. He's now in the district office and works for Kern High. He's down there, and all the floats. Man, these were some amazing floats.
Kern County, can you believe it? It's snowing tonight. It's snowing in September. Albeit it's 87 degrees out, but it's still snowing. Just kidding. Just kidding. Coming from one of the high school floats tonight, one of the VHS floats. They came behind our announcer's booth and shook their float enough that the snow has arrived on Griffith Field. It's a half moon. Garces will kick off at the 40-yard line. Here we go, kickoff of the second half. They look like they're going to pooch it again. This one's going to be taken by Emmanuel Turner. Turner takes it at the 24-yard line. Turner tries to get upfield, can't get upfield, and he's taken out at the 35-yard line. So the Rams do not want to kick this ball deep to Philip Thomas. I don't blame them. You don't want to give Philip Thomas 15, 20 yards of a head start. They do kick it to Turner. As you can see, Turner takes it at the 24-yard line. So he has a little bit of room, and when you take it at the 25-yard line, even a 5-yard return gets you in good field position. He got about 9 yards, so it'll be 1st and 10 from their own 34-yard line. You're watching Bright House Network's exclusive high school football game of the week. Drillers' first possession of the second half. Philip Thomas has one back with him back there, Marcus Nelson. Split way to the right is Van Horn. Thomas rolls to the left, throws to Van Horn over the middle. It's caught. Van Horn thrown down at about the 48-yard line. So the first play from the line of scrimmage, Brian Adams, first play from the line of scrimmage for the Drillers, a passing play. What do you think?
Well, Vance, that's going to open up. You got a little slant there by Van Horn. He's going to go down, break inside. Philip Thomas slings it with the left hand. Great job of catching the ball. Van Horn had a little room, but good close right there by Barron to make the tackle. But I like the way they came out and opened up the second half, and now you're going to see the Philip Thomas show. If he gets the ball throwing, Vance, he's going to be dangerous with his legs.
Thomas hands the ball off to Marcus Nelson. Marcus Nelson right between the hash marks takes it into Garces Rams territory. And Paul, you know, you and Brian and I, we have our chats off camera, off the microphone, and one thing we always talk about is that, man, just, you know, it's all about number 18, and we try to act like it's not, but it is.
Oh, it definitely is. There's no doubt about it. And what's going to happen is you only have so many fingers to plug so many holes in a dam, and pretty soon that dam pops, and that's Philip Thomas going 50 yards for a touchdown.
Well, he's got two backs behind him. He's got Turner and Nelson behind him. Thomas runs to the left. Will he pitch? Will he pitch? Will he pitch? The Lumberjack hammers him. Fumble! Lumberjack Campbell gets a hold of Thomas, throws him down. They said he was down. So Big Jack Campbell bursts through the middle again. We see in our Volvo Rinse replay, you know, head coach LaCava's still up here. Coach, I remember when we coached him in basketball, he was about 5'6", 47 pounds. Now all of a sudden the Lumberjack weighing in at 225 at 6'2". Paul, that's exactly what the doctor ordered for this Rams defensive front.
Yeah, you know, BHS is trying to wedge block, like I was saying earlier, and Garces is doing a great job coming in the back door and coming through seams and just filling holes. And Philip Thomas is going to have to pull something out. They may have to go a little bit of air here.
Thomas rolls to his right. He's going to have to throw it across his body. He decides to run it, and this one he's dangerous. This is when he's dangerous. Philip Thomas, a penalty flag. Looks like it's going to be a clip. Probably an illegal block thrown on Tommy Barron. But make no mistake about it, the message has been sent. It's going to be a lot of Philip Thomas. And when he breaks a few tackles, Paul, we know that that's when he's most dangerous. Broken plays and missed tackles is when he really turns it on.
Yeah, it should be first down. Depends on where the spot of the penalty is, and they'll mark it back. But what happens is when Philip Thomas cuts back, or it's kind of a broken play as we watch the Volvo Rinse replay here, he rolls out. This play is designed to roll out, but you get such great defense right there by the Garces Rams, so he decides to cut it back. And right here, I'm not so sure. Oh, that's a close call.
Wow.
You know, he was turning around, and he looked like he just barely got in front of him. So I don't know about that call. That happened right in front of the BHS coaches, and that's a hard call to live on because it looked like the young man to me waited and waited until the Garces guy turned to make the tackle on Philip Thomas, and he kind of picked him.
Well, the scoreboard not correct. It's third down. Third down for the Bakersfield High School Drillers. Looks like Thomas audibleizing. Thomas checking something off at the line. Garces comes hard. Thomas rolls to the right. Looks back to the left. Throws across the middle. Ball is tipped. The ball tipped out there by Xavier Tavorn. Stuck his hand up at the most opportune time. A big defensive stance mixed in with a questionable call. Here's our replay. Tavorn gets his hands up, Paul.
Right there. That's a great job by a linebacker doing his job. That's twice tonight. Tavorn's done a great job at the linebacker position, filling holes or getting his depth on a passing play. You know, it's kind of hard to play linebacker against the BHS Drillers because you're always going forward trying to stop that run.
Excellent observation, Paul. Appreciate that. Mahan with a big boot. Nice punt. Fair catch out there. Oh, that's going to be okay. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. Garces crowd looking for a call, but not going to happen. A good no call by the official. That'll be 1st and 10 on the 10. And we see a little bit of a bobble, and that's all right.
Yeah, it wasn't a clean catch. That defender has a chance to step up at that point, and that's Andrew Craig comes up. and making play there, and that's his job. He's supposed to be within 5 yards. You see a bobble, you step up. And if that ball hits the ground, then you have it.
Paul Press said, hey, you want a high-scoring game? Come to a blitz game. Love that. 9:39 left in this third quarter. It seems like this game's been flying by. McDermott on the handoff up the middle to Warren. Looks like he gets to about the 12-yard line.
Yeah, here we go. Little fake one way and come back. This is kind of a wing tee, if you would say a counter play. It's not called counter in the wing tee, but that's basically what it is. It shows you momentum going one way and then come back with the second back, crossing back there. BHS defends it well, brings up a 2nd and 6. This is a key down right here.
2nd and 6, Kevin Kobliska, split way left. Haven't called his name yet. McDermott hands the ball off. No, McDermott on a keeper. McDermott in trouble. Can he get away? No, he cannot. He's wrapped up in the backfield out there by who else? Austin Ferguson. Cheadle comes in late. Austin Ferguson with the tackle in the backfield. And Paul, as we see Austin Ferguson, a guy you say we're going to call a lot this season, and that's a big play. If McDermott gets free here, that's a big first down for the Rams. No dice. 3rd and 9. 3rd and 9. McDermott, excellent athlete, football, basketball, and baseball. Coach LaCava allowed me the opportunity to coach McDermott in basketball. To say he's intense, an understatement. 3rd and 9. McDermott to Tommy Barron. Can Barron get outside? He cannot. What an excellent play by the Drillers. Vince Van Horn along with George Ming. Remember George Ming a couple nights ago against Stockdale? George Ming
all over.
Tattooed one of the Stockdale Mustangs. And a lot of people came up to me later in the week and said that was the hit of the week. George Ming and Vince Van Horn. Great play.
You know, Vince Van Horn's playing a very good game tonight, being thrown out quite a bit. Even the blitz defenders every once in a while get beat. I mean, they keep throwing at you. Every once in a while they're going to get one. But here it is, BHS, Vince Van Horn back to take the punt. And he's standing on his 45.
What a nice booming punt, a booming punt. Van Horn watches it come up to about the 36-yard line. Fumble! Van Horn drops it. He's got blocking. A big hit out there, but Van Horn wrapped up at about the 34-yard line. Oh, boy. Jason Brown got shellacked on the 31-yard line, and he pops back up. Great, great, great football tonight. The score is 7-6, and, a big punt. This ball is just boomed, and it's a deep, deep punt. There's a flag on the play. We'll find out. Van Horn makes a great play. Picks it up. If he doesn't at least try to pick it up, goes another 15 yards. He picks it up, gets a big block. Jason Brown just gets laid out right there. Then Van Horn wrapped up very quickly. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Drillers. Just want to let Kern County know that as far as big names up on the sports booth tonight, we've had head coach Gino LaCava, but we also have Alex Mitchell and Cooper Dameron. That's about as big as it gets, everybody. That's about as big as it gets. Young Cooper Dameron, who last year gave us a day in the life of a freshman BHS football player. Last year he was named top basketball player in the freshman team for the Drillers. I know Coach LaCava will appreciate that. And doggone it, he's my nephew, so you can give me your $8 now. Hey, wait a minute, I gave you $5, Cooper, for my sandwich. And Kern County, he's got no sandwich, so maybe no interview. 1st and 10 for the Drillers. Philip Thomas has 2 backs behind him. Van Horn split way left. Van Horn goes off the field. Referee confused as I am. Thomas on the keeper. Thomas running right in front of us. Will he get free? Philip Thomas looking for the end zone. Touchdown, BHS, touchdown, Philip Thomas. Oh boy. He just didn't seem like he was going to break free, but he did. Touchdown, BHS. I was confused as Vince Van Horn ran off the field. I thought he was being subbed for. He was not being subbed for, and he just kind of slipped off the field by the referee. I let it ride. I let it go. Maybe thought that was kind of funky. Bottom line, Mitchell runs for what I think is a 60-yard. Thomas runs for what I think is a 60-yard touchdown ball.
Yeah, and I said it earlier. You only have so many fingers. You can only plug so many holes, and pretty soon that dam breaks, and there it goes. And Tommy Barron would probably caught Philip Thomas at the very end there, but his own player kind of fell down in front of him. Tommy Barron tried to step over him and get him at that point. You know, Philip Thomas is not the fastest guy on the field, but when he gets to the open field, he does have what we call football speed. He is hard to catch.
Well, look at this. Head coach for Garces, David Fanucci.
Of course, he wants an explanation.
Has enough weight for these referees to come over and explain how it is that a receiver can jog off of the field and kind of just slip off the field as the play is being called. I think he wants some type of an explanation because his defensive back, Paul, followed Van Horn all the way over to the other side of the field. So he's thinking, wait a second, my DB follows the guy to the other side of the field. He slips off the field, and now it's 11 versus 10 because my DB is on the other side of the field. Be that as it may, Mr. Press, the score is 12-7, and they're going to BHS is going to kick a PAT.
Nothing in the rule book says you have to have 11 guys on the field when you snap the ball on offense.
Very true.
You can't have 12, but there's no rule that says you can't have 10. And they simply took their corner out of the picture and then ran back. And if you couldn't tell, what happened was Vince Van Horn goes, and he was going in backward motion, so that's legal. He wasn't going towards the line of scrimmage. It's not arena football. Got to go parallel or back away. As BHS lines up for 2, Garces has to call a timeout. What happened here? Let me explain to the viewers, because here's what happened. Head coach David Finucci is out there talking to the officials, want an explanation. Well, Coach Gola on the other side sees this. He says, you know what, let's go for 2 because we missed the extra point. Let's go up because we're only up by 5, so we need 2 points to go up by 7. Okay, 1 point, an extra point would beat them. Well, here's what's happening. While they're discussing this, Coach Finucci's focusing on the officials, and none of his assistant coaches, I didn't see, or they didn't radio down or something. Nobody's telling them, hey, we need to change. They're going for 2. They're going for 2. We've got to get our heavy package in there and stop this 2-point conversion. Coach Finucci turns around, walks back to the sideline, looks up, sees what's happening, has to call a timeout.
Oh, boy. Well, Paul, thank you for laying it out there. And that may be a costly timeout late in this football game. Garces burns one when, frankly, Coach Finucci already had a dead ball because the officials took their own timeout to come talk to Coach Finucci. Oh, wow. Well, let me lay it out for you. It's 7:21 left in this third quarter. Drillers up 12-7, going for 2. Philip Thomas has Marcus Nelson and Emmanuel Turner behind him. The tight end is Ben Bertrand Harris. I think Philip Thomas is going to run this in the end zone. What do you think, Kern County? He pitches. It's not going to happen. It is not going to happen. Garces slams him home. Lumberjack Campbell, along with Vinny Sullivan and Chris Boyer and Oliver Sill, come in to make sure no 2-point conversion, a 5-point lead for the Bakersfield Drillers. Paul, this didn't look good early.
No, it started off right there, and Garces right there. They hit the first 2, and then you make him pitch it. That's the key there, and you're right. Do not let Philip Thomas hold on to the rock. Make him pitch it. Anything can happen when the ball's flying through the air backwards. You know what? So the timeout, smart call on Garces' staff. You know,
you're not ready. You're not ready.
You're not ready? Hey, take a timeout. Maybe it hurts us later on with the timeout, not having one. But at this point, now a touchdown, they go up by 1. You know, and the way this game's going, 2 field goals. Baker missed the 43-yarder earlier, but he didn't miss it by length. He missed it to the left. So 2 field goals puts them back up by 1. So that extra point you talked about earlier, Vance, still is playing huge. Look what it just cost. That 1 extra point really has cost the Drillers 3 points now.
That's very true. One person we haven't heard much of in this third quarter because I haven't sent it down to him because we've had so much action up here after this kickoff return. I see him standing in the north end of that end zone. I'd sure like to get Brian Adams' feedback right now on the energy level from Bakersfield High School Drillers. Look at this, everybody, right up the gut. The Garces Rams try to take it, and that is Chris Massey. Brian Adams, your take on that attempted 2-point conversion.
Well, man, one thing that I looked at, they had 10 guys in the box. They had Vince Van Horn out to the left. They could have easily ran a slant or a fade and go one-on-one. I'm going to take my chances one-on-one with Van Horn. He runs good, crisp routes, and we see that Philip Thomas can throw the slant well. That's one situation I think that if they had a check play, they check to a player that's to their advantage and maybe get the 2-point conversion. Those 2 points, not getting them could be big.
Thank you, Brian. McDermott with the pitch out to Barron. Barron has blocking upfield. Barron makes one good move, still on his feet. What a nice run. What a nice run. And who chases him down? 15 yards away. Who chases him down? Justin Cheadle.
Yeah, Justin Cheadle's reminding me of the big guy they had here last year, Daniel Calvin, coming all the way to the sideline. Right here, Tommy Barron just showing his speed right here. Ferguson almost gets him right there, and then he shows his balance. But that was just speed getting there, and all of a sudden you see Justin Cheadle come flying in there. You know, Justin Cheadle is having to play the nose. That's where big Daniel Calvin played last year.
McDermott to Tavorn. Tavorn up the middle. Tavorn with a nice run. Gets about 6 yards. Tavorn up to the 46-yard line. I should have asked varsity head coach in basketball, Gino LaCava, what he thinks of Justin Cheadle on the football field, because he is not an easy cat to cover low in the post. We're into the 7-minute mark here in the third quarter. Here's our Volvo Rinse replay. McDermott off to Tavorn. Tavorn right up the middle, and Coach Finucci, when in doubt, going right up the gut. 1st and 10 Rams, exactly at their own 45-yard line. Tommy Barron. Barron cuts up the middle. Cheadle, among others, there for the big stop. 2nd and about 8. Paul Press.
Here it is. You know what? BHS scored, and all of a sudden, Garces is the one that's got the energy level.
Well, they stopped him.
You know, they stopped that two-point play. You know, coming up, there was a story about a month ago in the newspaper. It's talking about BHS gets a new athletic director. This is huge as far as athletic directors run. I mean, BHS, Bakersfield High Drillers, this is a big program. Brian Adams is going to introduce us to the new guy here at BHS in just a few minutes.
McDermott to Tavorn. Tavorn breaks one tackle and lunges forward to make it 3rd and about 3, 3rd and about 4, and that extra lunge right there sure makes the difference between a 3rd and 7 and a 3rd and 3. Tavorn gets hit early, tackled by Medrano, not made, and then, of course, the big fellow, Justin Cheadle. I think I could close my eyes and guess that Cheadle's going to be involved in almost every tackle for the Drillers. 3rd and 4. Big play for both squads right now in the third quarter. McDermott hands to Barron. Barron cuts up. Barron cannot break free of that Driller defense. Great stance by the Drillers.
Well, it's decision time now. 4th and very short. 4th and very short. And it's not really a decision for Coach Finucci. He's got his crew out there. You know what? I don't know. Vance, they're right down in front of us. It's 4th and short, and Coach Finucci sends out his crew, and it looks like they're going to punt the ball away. But you know what? He took a second look at it. There was definitely a decision.
4th and 1 as Paul Press, Vice President of Bakersfield Blitz, my partner up in the booth, makes a great point. They took a good look at it. That might come back a little bit later in the philosophy of Garces. Drillers have nobody deep. It's a fake. Oh my goodness, it's lobbed out there. Oh, look at this. That's so unfortunate for Saxon Moore. Saxon Moore had no idea it was a fake. He went out to block Stephen McDermott. And the bigger story might be that their quarterback, McDermott, took a smack in the thigh. Oh, boy. Brian Adams, why don't you weigh in on this pivotal play in the third quarter?
Well, Vance, good execution, but I'll tell you this, Saxon Moore, people might be saying, oh, he pass interfered him. But Paul and I talk about this all the time. It's better to take the pass interference and the 15-yard penalty than give up the touchdown. Now you can set your defenses up, and you have one of the best defenses in the area. So you don't lose anything. You hold them. They kick a field goal 3 points instead of 7. And they might miss it, and you get 0. So I think that's a good play by Saxon, and let the defense set the table.
Well, Tavorn obviously didn't have his throwing glove on tight enough as that duck was way up there high.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't have got to him. You're right.
It was about to get shot down, but McDermott makes the cut inside, and Saxon Moore basically wrong place at the wrong time, but as Brian so aptly stated, not a bad play. McDermott still limping, hands the ball to Tommy Barron. Barron is hit hard in the middle. Let's go down to Brian Adams with the new athletic director for Bakersfield High School. Paul, once again, make the introduction to this new AD.
Our new AG here, his name is Jeff Scott. Jeff Scott was the athletic director at Shafter High, but here we go, Brian Adams.
Now, Jeff, we know you came from Shafter High. Great program, great tradition over there. What are some of the challenges that you face making that transition from Shafter to Bakersfield High?
Well, first off, Brian, I'd like to say, I really owe a lot to Shafter High School. Shafter got my career started. I owe a lot to the administration, and I really appreciate everything they did for me. It allowed me to come to Bakersfield High. Some of the biggest challenges that I face right now are just being organized with such a big program. We have a large number of athletes in every program that we have, And I feel my biggest challenge is to maintain learning the coaches, learning how coaches' styles, learning how they handle situations, and just getting to know not only the coaches but our players also.
Okay, now one of the things I know from having been here, there's a lot of pressure about BHS. The alumni and the kids, they expect to win everything. Can you talk to us a little bit not about just the football program, but also about the other programs that have been successful as well so far this fall?
Not only do our football program, we have a very successful program, but our basketball, our baseball, our volleyball team is one of the better teams in the SEYL. Swimming, the list goes on and on. Every time one of our teams goes onto the field, either onto the mat, the field, or the court, we have a chance to win. And that is really exciting for me. And our fan base is incredible. The spirit we have at the school is amazing. And one thing I do want to say is the parents. Our parents get involved in everything that we do, from concessions to taking care of the kids before and after the games. And I'm really proud of that.
McDermott.
Well, thank you. Take this over, Vance.
On a massive third down, McDermott drops straight back. McDermott throws over to his left side, caught by Tommy Barron. Tommy Barron wrapped up at the 20-yard line. Will it be enough? Did he get it, Paul?
Yeah, looks like it. Celebration on the Garces sideline. Very crowded down there, but we've got all the Garces alumni down there watching as we set right here. McDermott throws a strike right there in the seam. What a great play. They got a guy coming underneath. And who else? Barron getting the ball out to Barron in the flats. Nice play calling by Fanucchi and his staff. And there we go. So there it is. Hey, one thing, I did get a chance to come out and meet Jeff Scott, the athletic director from BHS, in a minute.
1st and 10. McDermott. Tavorn. Tavorn gets wrapped up about 3 or 4 yards. Go ahead, Paul.
Wow. Garces is really moving right now. Sorry about that. Hey, Jeff Scott, anyway, he comes in, and I had a chance to ride around with him yesterday while he was busy working, one of the busiest guys on campus. You know, and he said, I asked him, what's the thing about Shafter? And he said, you know what, Shafter is a great place, great place. I asked him, what's the big thing coming over here to BHS? He says, the parents are so involved here. It's a consuming time. Garces, here we go. Big play, Vance, back to you.
2nd and 9, Steve McDermott has DeVorn to his left. Tommy Barron to the right. Oh, goodness, Jason Brown out left. McDermott throws across the middle. Oh, goodness, Tommy Barron slips up there. McDermott couldn't get it to him, and the Bakersfield High School Driller defense really being called upon right now to step up because momentum, certainly with the Garces Rams. They're getting big first downs, got a big penalty call play. So 3rd and 9, the Garces High Rams hoping to pick up this big first down. If not, might be a field goal to make it a 12-10 football game. That is a funkified score if that's what takes place. McDermott has DeVorn to his right. Barron and Luke Hauser. McDermott wants to run, throws it, gets rid of it. It's picked off. Oh, almost picked off. Saxon Moore had 75 yards of green grass in front of him, and that ball was pushed out of his hands. So as our Volvo Rinse replay, I thought McDermott wanted to run. He gets one of it, and look at this, everybody. Oh. Saxon Moore would like one more try at that one. Well, here we go, Paul. Not that I called it, but it's happening. Anthony Baker in for the field goal attempt. The snap, the hold, it's up, and will it be good? It will not. No good. The Driller faithful are stoked. Way right.
First one was left, this one was right. They need to get 2 down the middle, and they'd be up right now, but they're not. It's 12-7, 2:47 left in third quarter. As we see the replay here, looks like Baker just kind of pushes it. He doesn't follow through, probably because of the pressure coming at his feet there. On that replay, Volvo Rinse replay, you could see the pressure at his feet. He's got to learn to follow through, and I'm sure kicking coach Baker will have a word with him.
Ben Horn split way right. 1st and 10 Drillers. Thomas hands the ball up the middle, and goodness gracious, Marcus Nelson hit hard. And for as much as the internet and the print media and electronic media and everybody talks about the vaunted offense of the Rams, again, we continue to talk about the defense of the Rams.
Yeah, the defense of the Rams is amazing. These guys swarm to the ball. I was talking to Coach Fanucchi yesterday. I said, what are you going to do? How are you going to stop Philip Thomas? He goes, what we do every week. We're going to swarm, all 11 guys swarm to the ball.
Look at this, everybody. Emmanuel Ujiriaki, way right. Sal Garcia, defensive coordinator for the Rams, looking on intently. Looking to get outside is Emmanuel Turner. Emmanuel Turner tries to get outside. He finally steps out of bounds, but there is a penalty flag on the play. Head coach David Fanucchi jawing at his referees, not only to make sure they make the call, he's looking out for his players' health, I think. Holding on the Drillers. Oh boy. Every time the Drillers seem to break one, well, not every time, but maybe every other time they break one, they get a penalty flag against them. Just keeps pulling them back, Paul.
Yeah, and right here as we're watching the Volvo Rents replay, man, there's some speed right there. Turner showing his speed and gets out, but as we saw the flag come across there, you know, we saw that. Vance, I'm going to touch on something that's kind of going around town, the Stockdale High dilemma, and you said the internet media. I'm going to give props to, there's an internet site called CVHS Preps. And the guys, I know the guys that run it, and they shut down, there was some talk going on about the Stockdale football program, and they just basically shut it down so people couldn't spread rumors.
2nd and 14, Philip Thomas. Thomas fakes the handoff, rolls to his left, he throws to his left, he runs to his left, he lobs one up, and this is going to be almost picked off. Xavier Savorn all over Matt Barbell, and that's going to bring up a long 3rd down. Quickly, Paul, go ahead.
Anyway, there was rumors talking about the Stockdale whole thing over there, and Stockdale had a few players that were upset and left the team, with the team. Well, everybody knows I'm good friends with the head coach over there. They run a class act, very class act. Coach Boyd and his staff, top notch. I enjoyed my year I was over there and coaching, and it's a sad situation. You know, kids get frustrated. They're not having the best year at Stockdale. They're used to winning, but things happen. CVHS did the right thing.
Philip Thomas has Van Horn split way right. Ojiriaki split way left. Goes for the hard count. Doesn't get it. Thomas throws out to his left side. It is caught out there. A big, big hit, but it's still caught. Fumble! Garces football. Listen to this crowd. Well, Paul Press, he makes a great catch, but as you said, he tried to stretch it out for more, and pow!
Yeah, as we see it right here, he gets stretched out, and the ball actually touches the ground, and his knee not quite down, and game of inches, and there it comes out. The ball was touching the ground, but his knee wasn't.
Coach Gola, I think initially came on the field to let the refs know, hey, he was down, but great eyesight, Paul. The ball hit the ground. What a big turnover. McDermott pitches the ball out to Tommy Barron. Tommy Barron cuts upfield. Tommy Barron. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Touchdown, Garces. McDermott times the pitch perfectly. Tommy Barron makes one big cut, and last week's Barber Honda player of the game cuts upfield. Garces 13, Bakersfield High School 12. 1:31 left in the 3rd quarter. Tommy Barron cuts upfield and runs straight to the feet of Brian Adams. Brian Adams saw it happen, and after this PAT, and boy, does this kicker for Garces ever need something to go through the uprights. Anthony Baker struggling for field goals. Let's see what happens here. It's up and it's good. Brian Adams, Tommy Barron ran right at you. What did you see ground level?
Well, Vance, he had the pitch. He was trying to get outside, but just had great instincts, made a cutback, and Paul impressive on it. Once he gets an open field, there's nobody on the driller field that's going to catch him. He's going to make that play, make the cut. He goes straight up towards me, and it's just easy walk in the woods after that. And now you have those 2 points that were so crucial Paul talked about coming into play as the Drillers are down 12-14.
Oh boy, Garces 14, Drillers 12. Minute and a half left in the 3rd quarter. We still have another quarter of football. And what a killer night in Kern County, Paul.
Yeah, it's a killer night, all right. And you know, this is what the BHS Drillers needed. They needed someone to push them, and this is what the Garces High needed. They needed a big game. They needed to come out and show everybody, all those doubters, there's a reason why they're undefeated.
they're a darn good football team.
Well, the third quarter interview that was supposed to take place with Cooper Dameron might get scratched. There hasn't been a timeout in the third quarter, other than the controversial timeout that they had to take because they weren't quite aware, but never did I think I'd scratch my own nephew. We'll see. Alex Mitchell, his bodyguard, standing next to me, threatening me that the interview better take place. 1:31 left in this third quarter. Garces, will they pooch it again, or will they try to kick it in that deep corner over there? Again, they kick it high, and again, it's going to be taken by Turner. Turner at the 26-yard line. Going to pitch it out to Thomas. He fakes it to Thomas. Turner cuts up field. Turner still on his feet. Wrapped up at the 25-yard line. Not a bad fake. You got Philip Thomas back there. Use him, you know.
Yeah, and they're gonna watch this as we watch the Bobo Rinse replay right here. They set it up, and they're taking a look. Man, Garces is so well coached. That's it. I mean, these kids are so well coached.
Meaning that
they stayed at home. They didn't bite on the fake. They stayed in their lanes. They did what they were supposed to do. You know, we're watching two really good football teams that are well coached.
Well, split way right out of the quick huddle. Emmanuel Jeriaki. Philip Thomas in the mini shotgun. He sends Turner in motion. Turner's got the football. Turner cuts outside. He's got the speed. Turner tries to get outside. A big hit out there. Doesn't happen. There's some big hitting going on out there. Oh, man. Who was that? Adam Kraus decided to take on the Lumberjack head on out here in some open field blocking as we see Emmanuel Turner get outside. I don't know if you can see this, everybody, but
man, they're hitting out there.
There's some big pops going on out there right now. Oh, boy.
Wow, here we go, and drillers are going fast, not spending a whole lot of time in the huddle.
Thomas, 2nd and 4. I think Thomas will run. He rolls to the left. He fakes the pass. He's going to pick it up and go. Stays outside, the Rams do. Big hit out there. Thomas wrapped up and thrown out of bounds, or he's still in bounds at about the 42-yard line. So, Brian, I've got to throw it down to you. You spent a lot of years on this football field, made a lot of great catches, a lot of great plays, but also, Brian, you've been involved in a lot of big hits. Are you seeing what we're seeing? Some serious popping going on down there.
Well, Vance, there's some contact out there going on. I mean, when these guys are flowing to the ball, if you don't have your head on a swivel and ready to play, they're going to knock you out tonight.
Well, that's about as succinct as you can put it, B. Thank you. 1st and 10, 24 seconds left in this third quarter. All the affiliates, big boys, are down on the field. Greg Kerr, Todd Strain. Wowee. You think they're attracting some people here tonight, Paul?
Everybody's here. You know, when Bright House is here, you've got the crew. You know what? When Bright House trucks roll up, they know it's big time.
That'll be it. The end of the third quarter. Bakersfield High School hosting the Garces Rams at homecoming. They trail by 2 points. What a football game. If you don't come back to this one, you must be going to bed or leaving to clean the yard. Back in a moment, Bright House Network's exclusive high school football game of the week, only here in Bakersfield.
Do all your friends and family live in California, or are they spread out across the country? Either way, we have a calling plan to meet your needs. Choose unlimited nationwide and call anytime, anywhere in the U.S. and Puerto Rico for one low price. Or choose our new unlimited California plan and call anywhere in the state for one low price. Either way, we make it easy. Bright House Network's digital phone. Home phone service on your terms, not the phone company's.
Honey, are you going to do that yard work today?
I'm looking up all the places I need to go. Next Saturday, I'll go and get the stuff.
Locally owned and operated, Volvo Rents has everything you need for that weekend home improvement project. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will guide you through our vast assortment of tools, supplies, and rental equipment. From concrete or masonry mix, mixers or finishing tools, to lawn equipment and landscaping supplies and more. At Volvo Rents, we deliver more care in every rental.
I got you everything you need at Volvo Rents. Here's some gloves. Bye.
Welcome back, everybody. We are at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Some green fellows there. First play in the first quarter. There is laundry on the field. Penalty flag. High school stats. Team offense. Garces coming into this game. A total of 1,994 yards, an average of almost 400 yards a game.
483 passing, 1,500 rushing. Bakersfield High School, probably about 9th or 10th on the list for offense. Some of the individual statistics for some of these players. McDermott and Barron for Garces in the middle of the pack. Philip Thomas not behind center. Look at this, everybody. Turner, the QB. Turner cuts upfield. Turner makes a great play. Turner gets hit hard at midfield, but not before he picks up some big yardage out there. So Emmanuel Turner, the QB for the Drillers, and a pretty smart coaching move, whether it's designed or not. Philip Thomas, not the QB. Emmanuel Turner basically just takes a snap and takes off.
Yeah, it is quarterback keeper. Why hand off the ball?
Why?
You're BHS. Whoever gets the snap,
run it.
Yeah, you get the snap, you get to carry it.
I can coach this team. Hey, fellas, snap it. Whoever catches the snap, run. I'm just joking, of course. That's how much talent they have. Turner again at QB. Will he throw the ball? No, he won't. Runs to the left side now, trying to get outside. Big hit out there. Beautiful hit. Nice play. Coach David Fanucci all over the refs. He wants a holding call, but looks like
easy, Coach Fanucci, easy.
Looks like that offensive line for the Drillers just stretching it out. Brian Adams, what do you have for us, Brian?
Well, Vance, I'm over here on the BHS sideline. Philip has a little bit tweaked his ankle a little bit. He's going to retape it, and he's going to come back out. So he will be back.
Philip Thomas, a little bit of a tweaker on the ankle. Go ahead, Paul.
Can I say it again?
Of course.
Valley Championship game. Remember last year?
Oh, boy.
Philip Thomas comes out, has to be taped up, comes back second half, and wow, shows everybody in the Valley who the real athlete is.
Remember that play he came out, Pete Mitchell handed the ball off, and boom, touchdown Drillers. 11-10 left in this football game. Garces leads by 2. Look at that huge offensive line for the Drillers. That is one big line up there, anchored by Justin Cheadle. And now all of a sudden, look at this. Peter Mitchell into the football game.
The biggest little football player in Kern County.
Nelson behind him. Peter Mitchell, the perfect guy to have back there, knows the offense. And Ojeriaki, split way left. Mitchell looks over at him. Mitchell looks right over at Van Horn. What you hear below me are the cowbells of the Garces Rams faithful. It is 1st and 10, 11-10. Mitchell at QB. Marcus Nelson, 6'1", 200 pounds behind him, the lone back. Mitchell's going to throw. Mitchell throws it up, and it's complete to Van Horn. First down, Drillers. Nice pass, Pete. Nice pass, Pete. Big first down, Paul.
Yeah, right here on the Volvo Rinse replay, Pete Mitchell, not very tall, but they set up a nice passing lane for him, and he throws a strike. I really like this kid. Could you tell? Can you tell? Wow.
1st and 10. Drillers. Ojeriaki. Turner split to the left. Bertrand Harris. Van Horn split to the right. Mitchell's going to hand the ball off to Turner. Turner cuts upfield. Kurt Turner's wrapped up at about the 32-yard line. Special hellos out there tonight. Look at this. The agricultural world is well represented tonight with the Campbell family, the Bianco family, the Stenderup family. I could continue on and on and on with the ag families represented here tonight. What a who's who in this stands tonight.
Yeah, I don't know, but number 66, Vinny Sullivan, playing for the Garces Rams on defense, just made that stop right there, playing great defense tonight, number 66. Nice job, Vinny.
We're under the 10-minute mark. Pete Mitchell at quarterback. He sends Turner out right. He's got Craig Andrew out left. Pete Mitchell sends Turner in motion. He's going to hand the ball off to Turner. Turner cuts up the field. He's wrapped up, brought down at about the 30-yard line. Tackle made out there by Sean Norse. Sean Norse makes the tackle. This will be a big third down play. Brian Adams, will we see number 18 again?
You better check the coaches. He's lined up right there. It looks like he's going to be coming in, Vance, as we speak.
Philip Thomas standing in the coach's huddle. He does not come out onto the field, but Matt Varvel does. So a 3rd and 3, number 3 comes in. Varvel gives the signal to Peter Mitchell. Peter Mitchell, 5'8", 150, a heart the size of that moon up there, and Pete looks over and calls timeout. Well, probably one of the wisest timeouts of the evening right there, Paul Press.
Yeah, that was a very smart timeout. Coach Gola comes out, is going to rally his troops. It's a big 3rd down and 3 play. You know, so on the BHS sideline, number 88 over there, Vernon Strong. Vernon Strong over there being part of his team. Nice to see him over there. And I don't know, Brian Adams somewhere over there. I don't know. Oh, no, Brian's left there, back over working. Man, Brian Adams is putting on some miles today.
He is?
Yeah, he's all over the field today. One time I look over there, he's over on that side. Now he's back over here. Now he's at the end zone. But as they break from their timeout, this is, this has been a great defensive struggle, 12-14. And as you said, Vance, you called it earlier, that extra point is coming back right now, really, because it changes what you do. Do you kick a extra point? Do you go for 2? Now, once again, it could come back to a 1-point game where the Drillers kick a field goal here if they don't get in. And now they're up 15-14.
Philip Thomas back in the football game. Probably the play to bring him back on. 3rd and 3. He's got Nelson behind him. Philip Thomas takes the snap. 3rd and 3, 9 minutes left in this football game. Philip Thomas runs to his right. Thomas looks gimpy. Thomas cuts upfield. Thomas does not get away to the fumble. Well, Jack Campbell pleading with the referee. It's got to be Garces' ball. It's got to be Garces' ball. I think they're going to say that he was attempting to pass the football. I don't know if that's accurate, but that might be the call. It looked as if he was trying to get out of trouble. Our director, Bernie Johnson, will probably be able to decipher the madness here, and let's see what the call is. I don't see. Oh, boy. The lumberjack pops out of the pile. Oh, goodness. A lot of confusion down there. Players thinking they have it when they don't have it.
Here we go, looking at the replay. Philip Thomas right here rolls out, and they let him try to get out and create. And he goes to cut back, and here the great swarm of the Garces Rams, he gets stood up right there. Now watch, he goes right, looks like it's hit by number 63, comes behind. Looked like Philip Thomas was looking to throw, but on the replay we can see number 63 puts his helmet right on there. That's Miguel Prado. Miguel Prado puts his helmet on the pop right there. And we've got a player down right there.
Louis Moran is down at this time. And watch this, everybody. Here's what you're going to see, Kern County. That ball is hit by the helmet of Miguel Prado. Miguel Prado, another great basketball player for the Garces Rams. His helmet hits Philip Thomas' hand with the football in it. And we'll go to break. 8 minutes, 52 seconds left. Oh, boy, as serious as the football game can be, the Drillers trail by 2, and there's a timeout on the field. We'll be back in a moment. Less than 9 minutes left. You're watching exclusive high school football game of the week coverage only on Bright House Networks. Back in a moment with this exciting finish.
Do all your friends and family live in California, or are they spread out across the country? Either way, we have a calling plan to meet your needs. Choose unlimited nationwide and call anytime, anywhere in the U.S. and Puerto Rico for one low price. Or choose our new unlimited California plan and call anywhere in the state for one low price. Either way, we make it easy. Bright House Networks digital phone. Home phone service on your terms, not the phone companies.
Honey, are you going to do that yard work today?
I'm looking up all the places I need to go. Next Saturday, I'll go and get the stuff.
Locally owned and operated Volvo Rents has everything you need for that weekend home improvement project. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will guide you through our vast assortment of tools, supplies, and rental equipment. From concrete or masonry mix, mixers or finishing tools, to lawn equipment and landscaping supplies and more. At Volvo Rents, we deliver more care in every rental.
I got you everything you need at Volvo Rents. Here's some gloves. Bye.
Whoa, welcome back, everybody. We are back. And here it goes. Will Mahan for the 46-yarder. High snap. Mahan up. Here's the kick. It's up, and it is good. 46-yard field goal. Mahan right down the middle. Drillers up by 1, 15-14. What we know is on the replay of that previous play, it was a fumble, not called a fumble. Drillers get the break, and look at this, Paul. A beautiful 46-yarder by Mahan.
Yeah, I'm sure his mother and father both. Max is in the stands right now. In fact, right before kickoff, I was actually sitting with the Mayhans and talking to them, and they were pretty pumped. And as I said it before, I'm a Will Mahan fan. He's got a very strong leg. I know this young man. He's a great kid. And normally he doesn't kick field goals, but with that distance, they put him in and say, hey, let's go for it, and he splits the uprights. He's got a strong leg. He's a great punter, and he's a good kickoff guy. And, you know, there's some people here watching this game tonight, and I won't say which universities, but there's a few universities here watching, and they were talking to Brian Adams and I before the game, and one of the comments was, we're definitely going to take a look at their punter, number 4, Will Mahan. So Will is getting looked at, and,
well,
you know.
That's a nice one to be looked at for. 8 minutes, 43 seconds left in this classic football game. Mahan now feeling the vibe, boots it up, and it'll be just barely into the end zone. Tommy Barron will now give it up to the ref, and it'll be 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. The Drillers escape with what was a fumble, not called. Oh boy. Now, can be very, very interested. Very interesting 8 minutes and 43 seconds. Brian, your thoughts on what we all know was a fumble not being called? That's pretty big.
Well, Vance, you know, we talked about it. That call is a huge call. If it's a fumble and turnover, Garces' ball. Now instead, it's a 46-yard boot for 3 points and a 1-point lead for the Drillers. So we'll have to see what happens.
McDermott hands the ball off to Bourne. Now it seems to me, Paul Press, these Drillers getting pretty fired up right now.
They're pretty pumped, and I just got word up here. The Garces staff is right beside me, and they gave me a little heads up. What it was explained to the Garces sideline was it was a fumble, but when they got to the bottom of the pile, it was a dual possession, so BHS retained the ball. So thank you to the Garces coaching staff up here to help me out and give us an explanation.
Thank you,
Paul. Dual possession.
We'll get off the controversy vibe then. Dual possession. 2nd and 10. Rams, conservative play calling. Drillers loving it. That'll bring up 3rd and about 9.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Well, watch out, because I think they're going to try to air it out, try to get the ball out to Tommy Barron somewhere out on the screen or maybe out in the flat somewhere. And we'll see, but I think Garces has got to kind of stretch that defense out right now. BHS is playing 10 guys in the box and leaving Vince Van Horn out here one-on-one. So we'll see if they get him one-on-one, but no, they don't come out this way.
3rd and 10, the BHS crowd up, the Garces crowd up. Hey, there's 7.5 minutes left, but everybody's up. Jack Campbell wide open, and it is caught. The Lumberjack. Well, Stephen McDermott with a great play fake. He has about 2 seconds to get rid of this. He lobs it up there, perfect spiraling. Are you kidding me, Kern County? The Lumberjack pulls it in for a massive 1st down. 1st and 10, Garces Rams. 7:18 left.
Wow.
Big run up there by Tommy Barron.
Yeah, and everybody wants to talk about, are you kidding me? Big number 9 going up for the ball. Hey, Kern County, he's one of their leading receivers. He's got a lot of stuff. I'm trying to go through my paperwork here and pull my stats, but as we're watching the replay, we've got a Garces player down. And it's the Lumberjack, the guy we're talking about. And we're hoping, as Brian Adams says, we're hoping it's cramps. But you know what? They've got, I'm looking at my receiving yards right here, and Jack Campbell, 118 yards already receiving this year. He was their leading receiver coming into this game. And he makes a big reception. As he gets off the field, he comes off under his own power to a big standing applause from the Garces sideline, which they'll need to get him back out in the game real soon. They'll give him a little bit of water.
Well, big play by Jack a little earlier. He's off on the sidelines now. 2nd and 2 for the Rams. McDermott to Tavorn. Tavorn up the gut. Oh, boy. What a big run. Philip Thomas brings him down, but Tavorn to the 37-yard line. 1st and 10, Garces Rams. So the X-Man up the middle, and Philip Thomas drags him down. Nice tackle by the number 18, Philip Thomas. The X-Man looking at the end zone if not. 1st and 10, Garces Rams. Oh, goodness, everybody. What a game on Bright House Networks.
Wow, and number 15, Mark Durando, is going crazy for BHS, yelling at his teammates.
McDermott to Tavorn again. Tavorn keeps it straight. Hang on to that football is what David Fanucchi's telling him. No gain there. That'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Mark Durando yelling at his teammates, but encouraging them, not yelling at them that they did something wrong. He's saying, come on, guys. He looks at the BHS sideline, tries to get them pumped up. He's waving his hands and his arms up, saying, let's go, let's go, let's go. And they're standing over there. Normally the BHS sideline's bouncing up and down, all the reserve players. They're not doing this right now. They're kind of looking at each other going, is this for real? Is this for real? And Garces is pounding it to him.
Brian Adams is down on the 15-yard line. Garces fans and Garces students and Garces kids all around him. They have as pensive as a face as Brian does, and they're only 5 years old. Pretty serious looks for 5-year-olds. 35-yard line. McDermott comes up quickly. McDermott kicks it off to Barron. Barron has some room. Barron cuts upfield, decides to go up the grain. Gets to about the 27-yard line. That'll bring up, well, that's a 1st down. 1st and 10, Garces Rams. Brian Adams, if you're head coach Paul Gola, is there any thought that you call a timeout and stop the bleeding for a moment?
Well, he got a referee timeout.
Oh,
so I'm
boy.
going to give him a little break. But I tell you this, if I'm the player, somebody got to go over and talk to him on the sideline and say, hey, what's going on? What's going out there? But they're not getting that pressure like we're used to seeing. And I think one of the things I think we're seeing too is they're not used to be on the field this long as a defensive unit. And I think it's starting to get worn down, getting a little tired. So they're going to just suck it up and start making some plays, because this is what championships are made of right here, Vance. When you're feeling a little tired, can you suck it up and make a big play? And right now, really, Garces has to drive, because I have all the little people here with me, and they're going to give a cheer for their Rams.
Wow.
Well, first down for the Rams as our director Bernie Johnson in the truck now getting ready to fill out a requisition for some new microphones and new speakers for the company as those young Garces fans blew out the speakers. Thank you to those young fans. Hey, they're stoked. Big 1st down, Paul. Brian makes a great point, because this Driller defense, they're really not on the field for long. They haven't been on the field for long stretches of time during the season. Philip Thomas scores a TD. They go on and play defense. They get the ball back. Philip scores a TD. They get the ball back. Philip scores a TD. Now they're out there for quite a while, Paul.
Yeah, and it's a good thing Garces got the 1st down, but it might be a bad thing they had to take a timeout to do a measurement.
Oh, boy. McDermott to Tavorn again. Tavorn right up the middle, and Xavier Tavorn, everybody, is 6'1", 225 pounds. He's a senior. He plays linebacker and he plays running back. And boy, is he earned his Big Mac tonight. Whatever he eats after the game tonight.
I think he eats a couple of steaks, because I don't think Big Mac's going to do it. But we did get to see the big lumberjack, number 9, is back in the game for the Garces Rams, and that's a good thing to see him trot back out on the field. So I don't know if trot is a good thing for a guy that big. How about
Jack Campbell back out on the field. Special hello to Mark Hall down there, Mark Hall Farming. 2nd and 7, 4:55. McDermott goes to the outside, pitches out to the outside. Valenzuela does not get up. Van Horn makes the tackle and a flag on the play, and it looks as if Xavier Tavorn is going to be tagged for either a holding or an illegal block. One of the two.
Wow, I have to agree with David Fanucchi. That's a bad call. Tavorn did what the right thing was. He let off Vince Fanucchi. Vince Fanucchi made a great Van Horn, excuse me. Coach Fanucchi's out there shaking his head. Vince Van Horn makes a great play. He steps up here and makes the tackle. But as we see right here, he didn't really touch him. He laid off of him.
Wow.
Vince Van Horn comes up and makes a great tackle. Strong corner play there by Van Horn. And Coach Fanucchi shakes his head like, oh, you got to be kidding me.
2nd and long. McDermott in the shotgun. Goes for the hard count. Doesn't get it. McDermott drops back. Going to be a screen play. McDermott across the middle. Oh, boy. Jason Brown runs smack into Austin Thomas, and what looked as if it was going to develop into a nice play ends up being somewhat of a catastrophe in the middle of the field. Now it's 3rd and long. Look at this, everybody.
Yeah, and it almost gets intercepted. Austin Ferguson right there barely misses it, and then, oops, big pounce, and then to finish it off, Cheadle lands on top of you. Wow.
Nothing like having Big Justin landed on you. Here we go. Stephen McDermott looks over at his coaches. David Finucci calls another timeout. We're down to one timeout for the Garces Rams.
Wow.
And you know what, Brian Adams, maybe you agree or disagree, but I think that Bakersfield High School head coach Paul Gola is ecstatic that a timeout was called on the Garces side.
Well, Vance, I definitely agree with you. It looked like the Drillers were out of position of who to cover. But you know what? If you're David Finucci, you want to make sure you got the right call. And this is a huge third down, right personnel. Take your time, set the table, and execute. And just make the goal and the Drillers stop you.
Well, Brian, you're absolutely correct on that. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's 3rd and 16. I don't know if they need all 16 back, but they do need at least 10 to get in range with Baker. Now, Baker's been left and Baker's been right, but I tell you what, this one might be right down the middle. The first one was left, the last one was right, but if they can get 10 more yards, the ball's at the 33, that puts the ball at the 23, probably kick it around the 26. That'd be a 36-yard field goal. Baker's got the leg. He missed the 43 earlier in the game, just wide left. So this may come down to field goal kicking. Mahan hits a 46, and we may have to, and Baker may have to hit a 43. We've got two very good kickers coming, and both of them have tradition of kicking. But who would have ever thunk it, as they say, it'd come down to a kicking game when BHS and Garces, the #1 offense in Garces, and BHS with Philip Thomas comes down to kicking. But here we go. 3rd and 16, big game, big play right here.
Here it is. Rams trail by 1. McDermott goes to the left. McDermott throws across his body, and it's caught. What a nice catch out there.
I don't know if it's enough.
Kevin Inman.
I don't know. It's going to be close.
Kevin Inman, a superstar baseball player, younger brother of the Stanford Cardinal Jeff Inman, burst down Garces. And hey, everybody, I hope you noticed what I noticed. That is one heck of a pass by Stephen McDermott, Paul Press, across the body.
Look at this. He's rolling to his left, squares his shoulders, and throws a strike. That's a great job by the leader, Stephen McDermott. You're right, Vance. He is an athlete. He is very athletic.
Well, here we go. 3:36 left in the football game. McDermott and the Rams hand the ball to Tommy Barron. Tommy Barron up to the 15-yard line. Brian Adams. Do they score early? Do they grind it out? Do they stall? Do they take what they can get? What's the game plan here?
Well, Vance, I think you got to run your regular offense. There's plenty of time. I don't know if you stall, but you're not going to just rush up to the line and call the play. You're going to take your time, run your plays, and if you can pick up another first down, I think they can get one more first down. I'm not sure where they're at from where I'm at, but keep it going and just see if you can leave the Drillers a little bit of time left, because the one thing you know is the Drillers are not a passing team. So to score quick is going to be very difficult.
McDermott right behind center. McDermott sends Barron in motion, hands the ball off to Barron. Barron in trouble. Barron cannot get upfield. Tackled out there by Ferguson and Van Horn. Nice play by the Bakersfield High School Drillers. Paul Press, the Drillers are a great football team, and they don't get that way by folding over.
No, they're a very good football team, and you know what? Everybody wants to compare to last year. They're a different team than last year. Last year had a little bit more size and a little bit more speed. But you know what? These guys played very well. You saw a great defensive stance right there. Van Horn holding his ground, and Ferguson. Here we go. Garces 3rd and 8.
3rd and 8. McDermott. Doc. Well, looks like it's going to be one of the linemen. I think it might be one of the linemen that got a quick start there on the line of scrimmage, and
well, 77's holding his head, and that's always kind of tells everybody in the stands, oops, it was me. He needs to take a little bit of acting lessons, but we won't call out your name on that one. Make a great block here. 77. Redeem yourself.
That'll bring it back to 3rd and 13. That's a kind of substantial call right there. Split right, Jason Brown. McDermott right behind center. McDermott decides to keep it. He'll go upfield. McDermott gets nothing. Big stop by the Drillers.
Yeah.
Big stop by the Drillers. We're under 2 minutes left in the football game. 15-14, the Drillers over the Rams by 1.
Very smart call there what they're doing there, Vance, is the ball was way over on the right hash mark here. Vince Minucci called the option to the left. If they get the first down, that's great. If not, it puts the ball right in the middle. Right in the middle.
Well, you're right, Paul. One of the big bits of news now is that the Drillers are out of timeouts. Out of timeouts. They've used their last one. The Rams have 2 left. We're looking at the Garces Rams practicing for their field goal attempt. Jason Brown, basketball player for Coach LaCava, snapping to McDermott, the quarterback. So 2 sure-handed athletes there lining things up.
Well,
what a dramatic possible conclusion to a football game that's had everything. Big hits, big plays, big calls. And 2 great coaches, long passes, long runs, long field goals, and a well-chronicled storied tradition in this football rivalry. 1 minute, 50 seconds left in this football game. It's 4th and 10. The Rams going for a field goal. Here it is, Anthony Baker to attempt the field goal. The snap, the hold, it's up. Baker kicks it, it's up, and it's good. Well, we just saw a great shot of longtime Bakersfield College medical doctor Doc Baker, just stoked that his son put that through the field goal post to make it a 17-15 ball game. But the more important news is we have an injured Ram on the field. Here's the replay.
Yeah, and as we see the replay, remember, first one was to the left, second was to the right, third one was right down the middle, baby. And if you go 1 for 3, you always want to be that one, be the last one, and possibly the game winner. I say possibly. It's not over. 1:45 left. Right. And let's not forget, Mahan just hit a 46-yarder earlier. So, and he can hit it probably at 46, maybe 48, 50 maybe, if everybody's behind him and it's going. The key, BHS doesn't have any timeouts left, and that's key. And the great thing, Baker, as you said, Doc Baker looking on. Now it's his older brother, Stephen Baker, is the kicking coach at Garces and has been coaching him up, coaching little brother on the sideline and saying, look, here's the thing, here's the thing.
Well, up on his feet has been a major contributor, Jacob Valenzuela. And this Garces crowd has pretty much gotten what they've hoped for. A strong, strong showing from their Garces Rams tonight. But this football game is far from over. Far from over. 1:45. The dangerous Drillers have Emmanuel Turner deep, Vince Van Horn deep, Marcus Nelson deep, Peter Mitchell in the middle of the football field barking orders over to Ujiriaki and Saxon Moore. Baker will put the ball on the tee after a brief discussion with the official.
He's got to kick this ball away. You cannot pooch kick here like they normally like to do. They like to put the ball high and get coverage. But if you do that with 1:45, then all of a sudden the Drillers, they drive down 20 yards and all of a sudden they're in field goal range. They've got to put this a little deeper than they normally do.
They spread it out. Well, no Philip Thomas deep, so maybe that will entice them to kick it deeper. Let's see what Coach Fanucchi has in store. Baker pooches it again. Oh boy, Peter Mitchell gets it at the 35-yard line. Peter Mitchell is going to take it now at up to the 50-yard line. So unbelievably enough, the Rams decide to not kick it deep with 1:39 left. And now the Drillers are at their own 47-yard line, knowing full well that William Mahan booted a 46-yarder. So they do not try to kick deep.
Wow. And you know what? And conventional wisdom says BHS doesn't pass. That's not true. They threw the ball last week to get things moving for against Centennial.
You're right, Paul. Here it is. Philip Thomas at midfield. He's got Nelson behind him. Will the Rams bring it? Will they come after Thomas? The Lumberjack barrels in, but there's a penalty flag on the play. Well, Kern County, I don't know if you can hear my microphone, but we're going to give it.
Against the Drillers.
We're going to give it our best.
Against the Drillers, a little bit of movement before the ball was snapped. So moves them back 5 yards. That's a costly 5 yards at this stage of the game. Now let's see if they put the time back on the clock. They didn't put any time. Did the time run off? Never ran.
139. First and 15 for the Drillers. Everybody's on their feet. There's nobody sitting down in this field. Thomas rolls to his right, likes to roll to his right. Thomas in trouble. Oh my goodness gracious. Chris Boyer with a massive hit. The Drillers have no timeout. The clock continues to tick. Head coach Paul Gola gives the orders. No huddle offense for the Drillers. 1:17 left in the football game. Van Horn split left with Ojeriaki. Philip Thomas now goes to his left. With his left hand, he looks back. Philip Thomas trying to cut upfield. Philip Thomas goes. Philip Thomas looks to the right. Philip Thomas gets out of bounds. That'll make it third and
very long.
Very long.
10, 20,
a minute,
third and 25.
A minute and 3 left in this football game. As Bryant so aptly states, it really doesn't matter because they're in 4-down territory, have to get the first down, have to keep moving forward.
Well, I don't think it's 4-down territory, but it's a 4-down situation.
Well, that's what I mean.
You did, yeah.
That's
no,
what
I know what you mean. Everybody knows what you mean, but they didn't want to be here.
Third and 18. Peter Mitchell at QB. Philip Thomas out to the left. McDermott on him. Quarterback on quarterback. Pete Mitchell lobs it up. It's floating in the air. This is up for grabs. It's incomplete. McDermott goes up, bats it away.
Wow. Wow. What a play by McDermott. He holds his ground. David Fanucci gives us a fist pump right in front of us. And as we see it, it's a jump ball. Philip Thomas gets good position, but McDermott gets better position, gets inside position. There's the basketball. Wow. Here we go.
57 seconds left. 4th and 18. Here it is. The Drillers have Pete Mitchell behind QB. Philip Thomas out to the left. 57 seconds left. Last possession possibly. Peter Mitchell lobs it up. He's got a man open. Penalty flag. Penalty flag.
There's a penalty flag. Yep.
Well, Pete Mitchell.
Wow.
Lobs it up there. Vince Van Horn.
Wow. Everybody.
Vince Van Horn held on the way down the field. And I think you can hear the Garces crowd yell. Well, looked pretty obvious. Looked pretty obvious to us. Vince Van Horn held out deep in the defensive backfield. Mitchell lobs it up there. This was a nice spiral, but before that happens, Van Horn held, and all of a sudden, 1st and 10 Drillers, 51 seconds left. We're back at midfield. This game is not over Kern County. Mitchell again behind QB. Thomas split left. Mitchell drops straight back. They're going to try it again. He lobs it out to Van Horn. The ball goes up, and it is incomplete. Great play all the way around. Who is that back there? That's Kevin Inman. Kevin Inman breaks it up. Look at this, everybody. Paul, it doesn't get any better than this.
No, Pete Mitchell throws a beautiful ball out there, but great defense. Van Horn tries to make something happen. They're sending everybody vertical, but they have nobody dragging across the field with 50 seconds left. You can still get a catch, and remember, they're on the 50-yard line. They get another 20 yards. You've got Mahan out there ready to kick.
Bright House Network's exclusive coverage of the high school football game of the week. I think a lot of people will watch this on Bakersfield On Demand. This is going to be a game everybody wants to see again. 1st and 10, exactly midfield. Philip Thomas split left with Craig Andrew. Peter Mitchell, the QB, Nelson behind him. Mitchell looks to his left, wants Thomas, in trouble. Mitchell might run. Mitchell stops. Mitchell goes up the middle.
Oh,
the
no.
clock is ticking.
No
timeouts for the Drillers.
Bad call, Peter Mitchell. Get out of town.
Well, he did not throw the ball away, so now half a minute left. The clock is ticking. Cheadle barks another order to his linemen. Get ready. Pete Mitchell comes out, calls the play. Philip Thomas split to the right. Pete Mitchell with 15 seconds left. Mitchell runs to the left. Mitchell in trouble. Mitchell drugged down.
That's game.
Look at that, everybody. That's Sean Norris. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pete Mitchell does not do it. Garces wins the football game. 17-15. The Drillers go down at homecoming to the Garces Rams.
Wow. Game over.
The Garces Rams hold off a frenetic and gritty last-ditch effort by the Drillers with no timeouts left to get down to the end zone. They do not do it. The Garces Rams win by 2, 17-15. The Barber Honda player of the game. Unanimous decision, Stephen McDermott for the Garces Rams. The quarterback, number 3, Stephen McDermott, the Barber Honda player of the game. What a finale. Paul Press, before we head down to the field, your final thoughts on this instant classic.
It is an instant classic, and the gritty play of the Garces Rams held tough. We knew it was going to be a great one coming in, and you know what? These are two great teams. Drillers gave it everything they had down to the end, and that extra point at the very beginning comes out to play huge because of the circumstances.
Brian Adams, your final thoughts before we go to break. Brian.
Well, Vance, I'll tell you this. You got to give Garces a lot of credit. They hung in there. They made the plays when they counted. But I'm telling you, if you're a Driller football team, you're going to have to analyze some things about your offense, learning how to run a 2-minute drill, because the lack of execution cost them time tonight.
Anthony Baker kicks a field goal to put the Rams ahead, and they decide to kick it. Here it is. Here's the snap. Here's the hold. Here's the kick, and you're going to see the Garces Rams go up by 2 and win a very, very big football game in Week 5, and you're watching it only on Bright House Networks. What a classic. Look at that BHS crowd behind it. Oh, boy. The holder on this kick is Stephen McDermott, and he'll be our Barber Honda player of the game. What a win for the ages for Garces Rams.
Bright House, every day is easier thanks to high-speed internet that's so much faster than dial-up or standard DSL.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, who are they from?
Plus, there's a choice of speeds to meet your needs and your budget. Bright House Network's high-speed internet. See how bright life can be.
Honey, are you going to do that yard work today?
I'm looking up all the places I need to go. Next Saturday, I'll go and get the stuff.
Locally owned and operated, Volvo Rents has everything you need for that weekend home improvement project. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will guide you through our vast assortment of tools, supplies, and rental equipment. From concrete or masonry mix, mixers or finishing tools, to lawn equipment and landscaping supplies and more. At Volvo Rents, we deliver more care in every rental.
I got you everything you need at Volvo Rents. Here's some gloves. Bye.
Honda is a proud supporter of Kern County's future NFL stars. Honda has the highest fuel economy average of any car maker in America.
Welcome back, everybody. We've all had a chance to catch our breath for just a moment. Week 5 of the Bright House Network's High School Football Game of the Week. Wow, what a doozy. We are here with the Barber Honda Player of the Game. It's Steve McDermott, the quarterback and DB for the Garces Rams. Steve, before we present these awards to you, first of all, tell us about this game in general. Just how much does this mean to the Garces Rams?
Oh, it's a big win for us. This is a David versus Goliath, and David comes up victorious. It was a great game. I mean, it came down to the wire. Thanks, we have Anthony Baker. What a great kick for him. And I just want to say a shout out to his dad, who's in the hospital with cancer. It's a great win for us.
Thank you, Steve. Back to you in just a moment. This is Sam, the sales manager, and handles all the internet sales for Barber Honda. This beautiful vehicle back here. I know you'd like to give this vehicle to Steve, but instead, Sam, we have some very nice gifts. Why don't you present them to our Barber Honda Player of the game?
On behalf of Barber Honda, we'd like to congratulate you, Steve, on a great game, and you distinguished yourself and your teammates real well. It was a great game. Like I said, I don't have any fingernails left. I would just hope that maybe next week we can do this all over again. Congratulations.
Thank you. Steve, open up that bag, but I'll tell you what, everybody wants to win these, but only the premier players that we choose, the Barber Honda Player of the Game hat. Thank you. Oh, love that. This guy's ready for Division I. Also, we have a nice plaque in there and a nice T-shirt. Steve, before we let you go, because a lot of people want to talk to you, let's talk about the pressure situation, that last drive you're trying to make to get down there in field goal position. It kept going back and forth with penalties, coming back a little bit, going forward. How did everybody keep their composure for this big win?
I just told our line it's up to them. I mean, they're the ones who pushed the ball forward and gave us the holes to run in. They gave me protection on that third down pass. They gave us the first down, continue our drive. It was all up to them. Our wideouts made clutch catches when they needed to, and we just ran the ball well.
Congratulations, Stephen McDermott, the Barber Honda Player of the Game. Sam, thank you for being here. It's a pleasure to have you with us. For everybody involved at Bright House Networks, what a huge, huge win for the Garces Rams. They're 6-0 now. They'll move up in the rankings. For everyone, we appreciate you watching this live on Bright House Networks. We'll see you next week, Game 6, Week 6. Congratulations to the Garces Rams. Good night. God bless.